Dennis, do you want to start? I'm going to
Just
start
make it
because I
up.
have just make. So there is. Um, I I think we have to start with our session one that you already saw a bit from what I heard before. That um, a load of adventurers were invited to Lady Aldori's palace, keep, fort, um, in a grand meal for consideration to be chartered to explore the Stolen Lands, which is the land between Brevoy and the River Kingdoms. And this land is meant to be used as a buffer zone in order to strengthen southern Brevoy's southern border, because there might be some political stuff brewing. And in order to do that, adventurers are called to basically rid these lands of dangers and make it habitable for people. And these charters were to be issued, and the lady Jumandi Aldori, Sword Lord, said, "Let's go." And she threw a big feast, and we talked to some characters at our table. There was a lot of dice rolling in a social situation, and after meeting some of them more, some of them less, as you can see currently in the game, to the top right there is a gnome that is universally hated because of his arrogant demeanor.
Yes.
Also, different characters that you probably meet soon, because especially the lower left, upper left, and the um, left middle, the elf with the scythe,
You
they
can ping.
are,
Hold on the left mouse button and you'll ping.
yeah. I need my hands for gesturing.
It's that direction.
Yeah. And yes, so we went to sleep thinking everything will be fine in the morning, and were woken up by assassins, and there was an attack on the manor. A lot of the heroes were apparently killed in their sleep, as we found out. We fought our way exactly by these guys, the Black Tears. You can see by the three tear tattoos under their eye. Fought our way to the Great Hall, where we feasted. It was in disarray, and smoke was billowing out of the western wing. Of course, heroes as we are, we decided to barge in there. We found a ranger, a Kitsune ranger, um, Robin's character, that we with whom we started to clear out the fire and fight our way through there. Met another group of those assassins and one of their sub leaders, maybe lieutenants, we don't know. Fought through a situation involving one of the undead companions, and we arrived at a great hall, and a training hall, not a great hall. It's a training hall where Lady Dory was by herself fighting two frost giants in the corner, and a great big fight seemed to have happened just few moments before, with the bodies strewn across the training grounds, and two of the assassins remaining with their leader, with a great big axe. And that's where we left off at the not the last, but the session before that. And we started this session with a initiative roll, and fought them, and we prevailed. Lady Aldori fought both of the frost giants by herself, thereby making her a total badass. And at the end um, of this morning, as it was around 4 a.m., we were able to reestablish control of the fort, and in some sense rescue the Lady Aldori. And after that, in the morning, charters were handed out. There was first a group called the Iron Wraiths. They were a group of very armored and gruff-looking, arrogant, mocking people, and the Iron Wraiths got the charter to defeat the Tiger Lords. And there was a Baron, Hannes Devlin, I think, sour-looking nobleman, sneer on his face, super arrogant. He was supposed to secure the trade routes east of the East Selen River. And Maegor Varn, one of the companions we met, who was also a sword lord, a third son of a nobleman, he was supposed to go to the Noimin Heights, to found an Aldori dueling school and either curb or, I don't know, do something with the centaurs. He invited us to visit him at some point. And our charter, as you can see now in the new note, is we have to go to the southwestern, the Green Belt and the Knoll Marshes, the hill country of the Greenlands, and from the small trading post of Oleg's trading post, we're supposed to start getting the area safe and rid them of bandits. Especially the punishment for unrepentant banditry remains, as always, execution by sword or rope. That's our charter. And Amiri, Jathal, and Lindsay joined us, and we started our hex crawl. And on this hex crawl, we moved to the west. And in the west, we found first one of small settlement that was a bit not really put off, but a bit surprised by the many travelers that went through here. And after that, we traveled further west and were besieged by a pack of wild dogs, much not as nice as Annie's dog, but we were able to appease them. And after that, I think that's where we left off.
You are correct. So, as has happened, we have left Restov, the manor of Lady Jamandi, and traveled a bit to the west, just passing the small little community of Nevakta's Crossing. About 140-esque individuals, mostly humans, and a few number of gnomes, dwarves, and other folk. Well, you have a number of days before you hit to Oleg's, where Jamani did alert you that they are having a bit of trouble with what seems to be banditry as of late. Well, you've just, at this morning, Rise C 8:32 in the morning, taken care of this pack of dogs that have been kind of pursuing you, either because they're hungry or other means, but they were dissuaded from approaching your campsite by the hunting of a rabbit and throwing a large carcass of a boar to them. So, as this morning does rise, you do your daily preparations, and it's someone roll me a d20 real quick. Fantastic. It's a rather clear, sunny sky. We're getting towards definitely the end of winter, but still a bit cold. You still have to wrap your shoulders, your body with your cloak or cape, or even just a bit of heavy clothing, or just keep yourself warm in other ways. But the temperature has been slowly rising steadily the last couple of days before we hit spring. Now, as it is right now, is just the four of you, and as well as Amiri, Lindsay, and Jathal, they're also getting their camp ready and broken down. They're already kind of splitting some of the ration foodstuffs you have to acquire a bit of a small filling of a breakfast. Now, the question I have for the rest of you, what do you want to do? Now, before you answer that question, above board, I will say, because this is actually relevant now to Dennis. So whenever a player sits out or a player comes back in, I will be the only few times where I won't essentially keep it lore-wise or keep it what should be logical. I don't want a player waiting 8 hours to come back into a game, so I will have Dennis or another player come in very, very quickly. You won't be waiting more than an hour or probably like maybe 10, 15 minutes. I'll try to get you back into the game because that's just, I think it's unfun to be able to sit there and say, hey, we're going to let you come in logically and just sit there for 6 hours. I'm not going to do that.
Mhm.
So with that being said, what do the rest of you want to do?
We should be heading towards Oleg's post, right?
Yeah. I
Indeed,
think
and that
that's
is
the
to
plan.
the west. Gotta keep on following that road.
Yeah. All right, fans. Should we head off to Oleg's?
I think that's the plan. No
After-
dogs about now, thankfully.
Are there some like they're gone, or are they still like, thank you for the meal, that was very kind of you?
Yeah, there's someone just sitting there talking. Thank you for the meal. No, as you get up, there's the carcass is there. It's all been chewed up. It's all been scavenged. It's just the bones and whatnot. Dogs are gone.
There was a big group overnight. Maybe a dozen or two?
Yeah, about a
A
dozen.
lot more than we initially saw. But yeah, they went for the carcass and then didn't bother us, so I think we're good.
So you are about, I would say, 6, 7 miles from the falls that you see over here. Now, even from this vantage point, you can see there is a small little collection of caravans that are moving westward, just like you, possibly to Oleg's or maybe even somewhere else. You see about 2 of them. So I guess like a small little caravan. But you see they're actually starting to cross the falls. At one point to maybe actually go southwards. But you have this little bit of a vantage point as you are beginning your day's travels. Now, back into the hex crawl nature of this game. Around you, well, let me get off tangent. So, as movement goes, you've got 2 things you can do. And that is either travel, and Brahmin say that apparently, or reconnoiter are the 2 kind of group activities you all can do. Traveling is essentially just moving across the landscape. Reconnoitering would be essentially exploring the area that you're in right now to see what might be there, hidden things, landmarks, enemies, or other things that are of interest to you. Now, certain objects like towns or these falls to the west, they are very obvious and can be seen from many miles away. In this case, hexes away. But other instances that might be into that hex itself or that area around you itself, you will need to reconnoiter. You will need to actually investigate and search around the area to see if you uncover anything. You're not going to get it seen automatically unless you're in a very, very plains-like area, which this is not. This is hilly terrain that's easier to travel because you are upon a road. This does make it easier to circumvent and navigate. So, with that being said, as we stick in with this bit of nature, how all you wanted to do this?
I think with that lead in, then maybe we could possibly travel into the next hex and then reconnoiter while we're there.
It's up to you.
I don't know if we want to delete Ellie.
One thing per
Will,
day.
will we have will we have some sort of vision to the west, or is it just like this tiny little circle of
This tiny little
vision that
circle.
we-
If you get into a high landmark, I might make it a little bit bigger. You can see around you. But right now, that's all you can see. So you can tell from the areas, say, is here, 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 and here. We know it's going to be hilly terrain. You can see that as much. You can see a bit of the river system over here. But beyond that, that's all you can tell until you actually go into that hex or that area.
You know, like not in character, but moving to the trading post is in some way something that we've been tasked with. So we can
Hypothetically, if they are heading the same direction as us, if we could catch up with them, maybe that would make the entire journey a lot quicker.
That's true. They're like 6 miles ahead.
They're about 6 miles ahead, yes. It looks like they're trying to cross one of the streams.
At least
Oh.
safer. Maybe not quicker, but safer.
But if they're trying to cross the stream, doesn't that technically mean they're not going the same direction as us already?
That's also a good point.
I'm just basing off the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They may be going somewhere else.
I mean, if it's a traveling caravan and we catch up with them, it might be nice to do some on-the-road trading.
Gilly will be for pressing ahead to the trading post, diligent as she is, but open from what everyone else wants to do.
I think for Graham's curiosity, he would like to travel to the next hex and just look around and probably see if there's anything more than meets the eye to these falls or the area itself.
Okay.
I think we'd press ahead. If nothing else, the falls would be a good place to camp.
All right. So, with this clear, sunny sky, the river next to the roadway that is cutting through a bit of the hilly terrain, it's a bunch of kind of grassland around you, numerous amount of rocks. You got birds overhead, and it's a nice, pleasant day. As you start to make your way west, you do actually lose sight of the falls, as being hilly terrain, the nature would be. After about 2 hours, you actually move into this hex. Now, as you are moving across the terrain, you can hear the falls getting louder and louder as you're getting closer. Now, those that recall, the name of this place, called the Crooked Falls, is known because there are a very series of waterfall drops, anywhere from 10 to 30 feet, that cascade for about 5 to 6 times over the course of a mile. Now, as all of you are rounding a bit of a bend, well, let's try this. Ooh, that's not gonna work. There we go. We're gonna try something new. We're gonna try that aspect right there, and that got some of you, not all of you. It's not what I want. Let's see who we're missing. We're missing Graham. And we're also actually Graham's here. Why did I not get him?
There's 2 of me. I've been duplicated.
No more. Let's see who we're missing on this. I'm missing Groff isn't here yet. He'll get here in a moment. And Rabbit's there. Raphael, Gilly.
The whole gang's here, except for Adara. Whoops.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I should actually scroll down. Okay. Everyone, you should see in the chat, do you see the box to roll dice?
I do not see a box to roll dice in chat.
Me neither.
In the public role thing?
And chat is empty.
The last thing I see in chat is travel and reconnoiter from Robin.
Huh. Let's see. Oh, I know why. I know why exactly. Give me 1 second, everyone. How about that?
Oh.
Nice.
Click that button and roll.
Public?
Fancy.
That's a nice way of holding it there. Does the wolf get its own roll? That's nice.
Oh, okay. Well, looks like I broke some of the stuff. All right, so this is gonna be for essentially. Why do I got phone calls? I apologize. Give me a moment.
Ooh, even check marks. How fancy.
Yeah, look at that. We passed. Good job, Brevet. We're
Spoilers.
perceptive.
Looks
I mean,
like
it's
DC
a spoiler
20.
that Gilly with her 7 and Orifia with 12 didn't make it.
Right.
Even
Sounds
my
like-
wolf is doing worse.
Yeah, I don't have scent. And you can see that it's about an 11 in difference if you don't have scent.
Ah,
Loras has sent.
All right, why? Where's Larast hanging out?
Loras has a +5 in perception.
He's just on your shoulder or chilling.
Yeah, just chilling with me. On my shoulder. Why not? Perception is better than mine. that scent, it does help.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Okay.
I run a couple businesses, so I tend to get calls every now and then, so get used to it. Anyways, yeah, so the wolf, but most noticeably Robin as well as Graham, you overhear a bit of shouting coming from ahead of you. But it's not the shouting of battle or of it's more the sound of despair and urgency. And you two notice this first before anyone else. What do you do?
I let the party know that I hear some shouting up ahead. And then I send my wolf ahead of me to scout the area and see if he can find something.
How does your wolf scout?
Perhaps see if there's some bushes or something that he can hide in and see if, or at least see something out of the ordinary.
As far as I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but your wolf is just a well-trained wolf. It doesn't have an intelligence to communicate like a human.
Okay.
Yeah, -6 intelligence, so your wolf is just a well-trained wolf. It wouldn't understand pretty much the complication of what you're trying to do. Well, scout ahead and bite someone if you see someone that seems threatening. not just anyone, like a baby just bites it, but if it seems threatening, it'll probably attack them. But it's not going to be able to do kind of what you really want. I mean, able to bark, let you know someone's there. Is about probably the extent of it.
Graham will volunteer to stealth ahead and check what the scene's going on maybe, and look for possibly a bush or a nice rock side to hide behind and peruse what's going on.
And I will probably take this opportunity for Gilly to put on some armor because she's definitely not traveling with armor and asking someone, please help me.
You definitely would have done this in the morning preparations, Gilly, so you definitely had that done already.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm traveling in armor.
Yeah, when you move out of camp, you would have everything ready for the day, unless you purposely don't do that. All right. Now the question I have, with this kind of urgency, do you also move urgency, or do you go in a stealth-like manner to creep upon what you're coming up towards? That's a question I want to kind of know.
Graham is fairly cautious, so he'd probably do the creep and make sure he's not noticed.
Okay. If you're moving stealthily, go ahead and give me a stealth roll there, Graham. How'd that be an open roll? How's everyone else proceeding forward? If so.
I'm following Graham in stealth, at least.
Alright, give me a stealth roll as well. What about you, Raphael, and for you, Gilly?
I think maybe we can follow in a distance, like
So behind Rabbit
40
and...
feet, maybe.
Okay,
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play their coffee.
alright. As you two are moving slower, approaching stealth-like, You hear more, no, 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 catch it, get off, and you hear the continuous noise of the waters, and then the breaking of what sounds like a couple of wagons tearing apart. You can hear the framework, the metal pulling apart, the timber snapping, a large crash, and then a large splash, and then a number of Papa, Papa, Papa. You hear that as you're approaching.
As I hear the cries for Papa, I go out of stealth and just rush towards whatever might be happening.
As all of you watch Graham just start bolting, those of you that follow do follow. But Graham, as you round the last kind of rock that's kind of blocking view, you see the two wagons that you saw earlier in the day. They are now only one remains. You see the drifting parts of one of the wagons that has essentially fallen off of the correct pathway through the stream and was essentially torn apart by a bit of the torrent of water. And as that wagon's being rushed away, you see two individuals. You see a man and a woman yelling, screaming for two young boys at the short of the wagon that's half in the water. It's also slightly teetering, as it looks like two workers are trying to desperately hold the wagon from falling into the water, be swept away like the other one was. And you watch as what seems to be the mother and the father of these two children wash away down the falls, and immediately see them tumble over several waterfalls. You have one last wagon. You hear the two boys, about maybe 6 or 7 years old, screaming, crying, bawling their eyes out. The two would seem to be maybe 20, 30-year-old workers, are desperately trying to hold on to this wagon that is slowly inching further and further into the stream of water, into this torrent that's pushing and going to do the same thing to this wagon that happened to the one before. The rest of you, if you follow Graham, once he starts bolting, you come across this scene as well. Amiri, Jathal, and Lindsay. Lindsay, oh no, oh no, oh no! And Jathal kind of just doesn't say anything, but Amiri goes, this is good, and starts bolting forward herself. What do y'all do?
Graham will instruct Amiri to hold on to the carriage, and Graham himself will try to get out some rope from his sack and start trying to tie pieces of the carriage to anything that can weigh it down.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of a new mechanic that's kind of do what I do in my other games, but it's called a bit of a skill challenge. So, and this is a bit of the victory point system that is built into Pathfinder 2, but over a number of rounds, I'm going to do 2 in this case, make it easy. Everyone has the opportunity to do a skill check of your choice, narrate how you use this check, and then we roll, and then we kind of narrate how it happens, and if the group as a majority gets a success, we do something good. If we get, unfortunately, a number of failures compared to successes, well, things go in a bit of a bleak manner. So, with that being said, we'll go in a bit of the order of players on my screen. So, for you, Graham, as Amiri is rushing forward, as this wagon is getting pushed over, as the children are crying, as the wagon is teetering, what do you do?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I will grab the rope from my sack and try to fasten down the parts of the carriage that I can pull the rope around and fasten it to something that's heavy, maybe like a tree trunk or maybe an open-faced rock, anything like that. And I think for that, I'd like to roll crafting.
Go for it. So Miri rushes forward, grabs the wagon. While you rush forward, you wrap the ropes around part of the wagon. You tie it back towards the tree, get a bit of leverage. You start pulling all your strength against the tree. Fantastic, that's a success. For you, Raphael, what do you do?
Russia. Okay, there's the wagon that's teetering and that's just been tied to a tree.
Yes.
The two workers are trying to hold it back.
Help! 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 We can't hold this! If they see Amiri, they see Graham there with the rope, but it's still slowly drifting into the water.
Okay.
How do you want to help out? We can help out the children. We can help out the wagon. We can help out maybe the debris that's in the water. Another way, using survival to see if you can maybe move some rocks to get leverage for the wagon. Any skill that you think that can convince me to be used in this situation, I will allow.
With the children?
Next to the wagon, watching their parents that have
Okay.
tumbled over the falls.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with your suggestion. I'm fresh out of ideas. Try to use anything that I can to block anything from colliding with the wagon through the river flow. Survival, move about,
Okay.
any debris or
Give me a
rocks,
survival roll.
anything.
Refuel. You rush forward. You see a number of rocks that might be able to be moved over to actually fall in front of the pathway of the wagon to maybe potentially stop the wagon as kind of like a stop against the wheels. You rush there. You start pushing, but it's bigger than you imagined. You push hard. The sounds of the children behind you screaming. You get no movement on the rock. It stays there, unfortunately. That's a failure. Gilly, what about you?
So watching or trying to move those rocks, and the water is like
So the
waist
water
high or-
is actually down about maybe 10, 12 feet, but there's a ford. The ford's about maybe 2 feet in depth, but the wagon's actually gone off the ford slightly, caused it to almost fall into the water.
So Gilly will be up to her head in water because she's one of the smaller folk. Is there a way that I can help push those rocks in front of the wagon so the children don't... Are the children with the wagon or are the children at the falls?
They're at the shore. They actually got into the river as yet. They're right at the edge of it, and they're a little bit away from the wagon that's actually in the water right now. They're watching the drifting remains of the other wagon, the parents' wagon, that is slowly crashing against a bit of the rocks before it tumbles over the falls. And they're just watching
And
that screaming.
Parents are already over the falls,
Yeah.
the lower part.
And looking at the falls and the number of falls, the 5 or 6 of them, and the drops from 10 to 30 feet in the rocky terrain, after the first 1 or 2, they're not going to survive. They're gone.
So Gilly thinks they are probably already gone and there's no way to help
Yeah.
them. Okay.
You can try to save them, but it's going to be a high DC.
Would it be just running down there and jumping after them and trying to help
Pretty
them
much, yeah.
in heavy armor?
Dive into the water,
Yeah.
going with them, try to rescue them. I mean, it could be possible, but it's going to be a hard roll to do this. Because they're ahead of you and they've already started falling, so you're going to be falling down some rapids as well.
Right. So I think that would be athletics, and for my first check, I would like to use my focus point for athletic rush to move further than I usually could, and also get a bonus to my athletics check, which I want to use to get there. Like my geese arm in hand, I dropped everything else. If there is any way I want to cut myself free of my armor, because that would be
You
not
can use a
good.
knife and you can cut if you want to. You can cut the bindings of armor and drop it if you want to. But
Okay,
it will be
I would-
unusable until you get repaired.
Yes, then I will do that. Take the grease arm, run down there and try to get them. I still have like the belt pouches with
So
the
you're going to try to go after
potions
the
on me.
parents?
Exactly. I want to.
All right. So remove your armor. All of you watch as Urfield is pushing the rock unsuccessfully, as Amir is holding part of the wagon, as Lindsay comes over and starts to maybe console, move the children's heads away from the falls. You watch and you hear the clanking of armor as Gilly is literally cutting the bindings of the armor free, drop into the ground. Gilly, take a damn hero point because that's heroic. As you dive into the water, go ahead and give me. You want to use an athletics roll?
I want to first athletic rush and that to boost my athletics.
Okay.
I think I got it. And yes, now an athletics roll. 1 second.
Give me an athletics roll.
And probably she will cry for a rope after jumping down there. Just shout for a rope. All right. I'm going to hero point that.
Gilly. Armor behind you, your pack on the ground, just your underclothing, your gambeson. You dive into the water after the parents. You go over one of the falls. You see the rocks down there, you splash into the water, you miss a bit of the rocks. You go forward, you see both the debris of the wagon is next to you, parts of it falling on the water. You see a trunk bob into the water before it crashes against one of the rocks and shatters and breaks. You see clothing, some potions of, or some vials of potions that shatter as well. You see the man and the woman, the mother and the father, as they are submerged in the water, as they are trying to keep up. Your hand comes out. You can only get one of them. Which one do you grab?
I would like to say I have this long stick I brought with me, this Guisarm, the main weapon with reach. I want
and that's
to
going
try
to be used to get one of them.
One of
You
them.
only get one.
Which one is closest? Because that's the one that Gilly will try to...
Oh, you should make the call on that one.
Yeah, I'll try to save the mother.
Okay. You pull out the Guisarm. You're holding the blade in, obviously. The other end's out. She's trying to grab it. She can't. You see the father grab the stick as he's falling, and then he grabs his wife, grabs her hand, pulls it towards the haft. She grabs it. As he goes over the second fall, you see his face. You see the look of terror, the look of fear, the look of thanks that you've tried this and hopefully saved his wife. As he goes over the falls, a 30-foot drop onto the rocks below. Rabbit, what do? You watch as Gilly dived over into the water, out of view immediately.
How long ago was it that he dived or ran off and dived off the cliff?
Moments.
Uh,
This is all essentially they're going at the same time.
As Gilly tries to jump over and tries to save the mother and the father, Revit sees it and basically just follows him to help him out and try to save both of them if possible.
Potentially. But again, a high DC to save now the father in this case. What skill do you want to use? How do you want to try to save him? He's going over the second fall. He's going down 30 feet. Are they in the water? They're on the shore next to watching as they're tumbling down the falls.
Is it possible to run along the falls and use my bow to basically just pierce through the clothing of the father and maybe pin him in at the cliff side?
I'm going to need 2 rolls here. The first roll, you're on the shore. The rocks, the way the water is very, very slippery. Give me a reflex saving throw first. You're pulling out the bow, and as you're pulling it out, you actually slip and you fall on your ass, essentially. Hold the bow, you have to make the shot as you're on your hindquarters. Bow at the sideways now, as the father is going about to over the side, past the grasp of Gilly. You launch an arrow. Go ahead and give me, in this case, go ahead and give me an attack roll with your bow.
Okay. I want to hear a point that.
Go for it.
Ah, damn it.
Do you launch the arrow from your bow and hindquarters, a little bit wiggling? The arrow flies true. It hits, not clean, but it hits the shoulder of the man. Goes into the rocks, and you think for a moment it's going to work. But then his weight, the pool of the river, tears the arrow, breaks it, and he fully falls off the side of the falls. And you watch from your vantage point, Rabbit, as he tumbles, and you see the number of rocks at the bottom of the 30-foot falls. His body hits the bottom of the falls, and immediately you see that he does not survive this, as his body is completely still, broken upon these rocks. But now Gil's in the water holding his arm. Other end, the wife was holding it, the children screaming, Lindsay trying to console them, and Mary Jathal trying to hold back the wagon, Raphael trying to push the rock forward. We go into round 2. This is where, at this point, Dennis, you falling behind. You hearing these shouts, you coming upon these people, do you round that same bend, or maybe a little bit different angle, do you see this scene unfold? You see these people that are trying to rescue this one wagon, these people here. And I'll have you go in the order I'm going to go. But back to round 2, Graham, you've got the rope around one of the trees. The wagon's slowly starting to move in, but it's at a break now. It can go in. It might get stopped based on how this plays out between you and your companions. Graham, what do you do? And what I'm looking for in these situations is a different skill check this time.
A different skill check. Okay.
Yes.
Oh boy. Let's see. So the kids are inside of the cart, right?
No, they're on the shore. Lindsay is
They're on the
actually
shore.
Lindsay turned them to not look at her parents, and is
Oh,
trying
okay.
to essentially calm them down.
All right. Then Gilly jumped over the falls, needs rope. But the wagon has been evacuated.
Yes, but there's still supplies inside it, which they're trying to save.
Okay. Shoot.
Workers near the wagon, right?
Yeah, they're trying to help as well. They're trying to stop this thing from going into the water.
Because I only had one thing of rope, and I don't think I should untie it for the cart.
Like, in the packs, there are probably other, like, our equipment.
Gilly, you're not there.
Sorry.
Is there
It's
anything
one
in
of
the
the few
party
times I'm gonna say.
donkey?
It's one of the few times I'm gonna say this. I want to see how you all individually take care of this.
The only thing that comes to mind right now is to use my crowbar and try and get into a position where I can wedge the wagon into a more stable position. Either that, or I can jump into the wagon itself and start pulling out supplies as things are rushing through. And I think if they're trying to save the supplies of the cart itself, that's what I can go for. So I'll try to do that.
What skill do you want to use?
Can I use acrobatics for jumping into the cart?
Go for it.
I'll hero point that. Slightly.
Graham.
meh.
You jump into the wagon. You slip it a little bit. You tumble. You get into the wagon itself, and you start to take objects. You grab one large, what looks like equipment, like maybe a chest full of equipment. It's a bit heavy. You pick it up, and as you go to throw this out of the back of the wagon onto the shore, the wagon lurches at the last second. You actually trip, and the chest goes halfway, splashes into the water, and immediately starts going down the falls. Now, for you, Dennis, before I introduce you, I'll use you as Dennis. You see this unfold. What do you want to do?
As soon as Grove realizes that there are persons tumbling down the waterfall, he starts running, grabs his backpack, pulls out his grappling hook, ties his rope to it, lets the backpack slip to the ground, and runs until he's confident enough to throw it to get these persons out. Is there some rock formation or something like where the grappling hook can cling to?
There is. Right now, there's only two people you can save, and that is Gilly and the wife that is holding on to his weapon. So you do that. Go ahead and let's see. What skill check do you think you want to use here in this check, Dennis?
Excuse me, what athletic or what did you say?
I'm letting you decide what skill check you want to use. I would say either a
Okay.
throwing check because you are throwing a grappling hook, or I would allow athletics to get into position. Either one.
Then I decide for athletics.
Go for it.
No penalty or
No.
something like this? Okay.
Nope. I don't typically do penalties in here. I want to see your pure skill. So, Dennis, as you're rushing forward, so the way I'm picturing this, from what you described, you're throwing the grapple end into rocks and using the rope to go ahead and help. Okay, so, and you are nowhere near to that. So you're essentially going to stay on the shore and you're throwing this to get them the help. Okay, so Gilly, you're in the water. You're holding on to a bit of rocks. Your hand is a little bit slipping. You're holding on to your disarm. The woman's holding on to that. You watch this new individual come out of nowhere and drop his backpack as he's holding the rope, tying it off, and he throws the grappling hook. One end falls to a number of rocks. He throws the other end, the coil of rope uncoiling as it falls right in front of you next to your hand. Success. Good job there, Dennis. Raphael, you're by that rock right now. You can maybe still do this. But I do want a different check. So
The
I would
chest
say-
fell off the cart, didn't it?
Hmm?
The chest fell off the cart and is in the water now, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's also going down towards Gilly. You can use athletics if you want to try to push this rock. You can acrobatics, dive in the water, grab the chest. You can use those options I can think of real quick, or you can think of one yourself. Maybe you can use intimidation. Get that goddamn chest to the people. I'll let you decide how you want to use it.
This rock is pretty steady, right? I haven't been able to like push it any.
Now with survival, because you're athletic, you just try sheer, just like pure brute force athletics, try to push this thing.
The chest has gone past it already, I assume.
Yeah, a little, yeah. But you can still, we're still in a narrative type form, but you can still kind of get to it based on how you want to describe this, and your role will determine if you do or not.
I've not managed with the rock, and I'm not very strong guesses. Is there a good hefty tree nearby the shore that maybe I can tie myself with using rope and then dive in to the water and try and grab that chest?
If you want to. Or, I'll allow people to use spells. Using a spell slot can be automatic success.
I did think of
believe-
Tanglefoot, but that targets creatures specifically.
I'll allow this. I'll allow the rule of cool here. Maybe there's a fish next to it. You just target the fish.
Because I want to get the chest. Save that from going over, because I assume there's going to be valuable supplies in there.
Maybe it hits Gilly.
I can't cast Tanglefoot on myself, can I?
If you want to.
So I want to dive after the chest and have something holding me down so that me and the chest don't go over. Hence why I thought of tying myself to a tree using rope.
Okay. Sorry, I was reading the spell. What do you want to do? Just repeat what you said.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to dive in for the chest, and I don't want to get swept away as I try to save this chest. So I wanted to tie rope to myself and say a tree to keep me anchored, essentially.
Okay. All right. So there's
That
multiple
was my
ways we can
deal.
play this. Many skill checks can be used here. You can use crafting, you can use athletics, you can use acrobatics to get to the chest. You can use thievery to tie the chest, or tie the rope to the chest here to yourself. So many checks here I can see that being used. What skill do you want to use?
I'm gonna go for crafting since I think that's gonna be my best shot at it.
Okay.
I'm gonna hero point it.
All right.
Every time I hero point, it wins.
You tried.
I tried.
You try. Unfortunately, time-wise, you just weren't quick enough. And you watch as that chest goes over the first fall towards where Gilly's at. Gilly, you're watching as that chest goes to the edge, hits one of the rocks, and just shatters completely. Similar to you've seen already. For you, Gilly, what do you want to do?
Save what I can. So I think Gilly, she's going to try to, with the help of the rope that stranger threw down, she's not going to look a gift rope in the mouth, and she's going to try to use it to somehow save herself and the mother. So Gilly still has this long stick with a blade on one hand, and is trying to pull or is keep the mother from going down the waterfall.
Yes.
I think Gilly is going to hold on to the rope with one hand and try to pull her up. Finally, she has something to stabilize herself, and so she's going to try to better the situation. I'm not quite sure. I would like to use athletics, but I already used that.
I can't really see another case of being used, so I'll let you do it at a bit of a penalty, though.
Okay, so I used up my athletic rush, so I'll just use normal athletics. Still have a hero point though, so let's see.
It's good enough. It's a -2, 15. You grab that rope, you holding her, and you're it's slipping a little bit. You have to hold on to the blade, and a bit of blood slipping through your hands as the blade's cutting to your fingers. But you pull the rope, her yourself, to the shore. Lastly, Rabbit, what do you do?
As I see that Gilly is safe and the woman is also safe at that moment, or at least I see Gilly moving to the shore with the mother. I stand up because I slipped when I before I fired my bow. I stand up, look at the cart, and see if I can help them out by stabilizing the cart so it doesn't also go down the falls.
No pressure here, Robin. There's 4 successes and 4 failures. Your result determines the success or failure of this scenario. How do you want to help out this wagon?
No stress. Well, it's all up to me if we fail or not.
Just don't stress yourself. Just
I failed twice. No pressure.
No pressure. We're all gonna die.
The wagon's being helped by Miri. It's being pulled a little bit by a Jathal. The Wagoneer workers are helping out. Gilly's rope system is keeping it slightly, not Gilly's, Graham's rope system is keeping it from going to the falls. Your last effort will determine if it does or not.
For okay.
Graham bound the car to, or use rope to bound the car to something, right?
Yes, to a tree, large tree.
Well, I move towards Graham and decide to pull on the rope to hopefully get the cart away from the position it's in. To basically just pull it with the rope further onto the or towards the shore.
What skill do you want to use?
I already used athletics. I think survival works for this.
Go for it.
Don't fail, don't fail. Damn it!
Do you have a hero point?
I don't have a hero point. I had one and I used it, so...
You try, but the wagon gets pulled into the water off the ford. It tumbles on its side, and the current of the water takes it. All of you get off of the shore. You saved Gilly, the woman. The 2 children are fine. The 2 workers are fine. The husband did go. The 2 wagons are now broken apart. And as you watch as the wagon, the second one, goes over the falls, crashing and destroying the rocks below, you did save a life here. She will always be thankful. This unfortunately is a failed challenge. But everyone do take a hero point for being heroic. As the children are being tended to by Lindsay, you see this woman, boys, 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 runs over and just wraps them in a large hug, crying, tearing. The children are crying. The 2 workers are just solemnly there standing at a bit of a loss. She's also crying, and she looks up at Lindsay, all of you. Thank you. Thank you for saving, for helping. How do y'all react?
Graham will solidly look down as well and be like, "We tried to help. I'm sorry, we couldn't do more."
You saved my life. Thank you. At least my children will have a mother. Thank you. Thank you. And she's got tears streaming down her face. And she's clutching her also crying children.
I have difficulty facing you, and I look away as I feel I wasn't able to do much.
Gilly will also try to avoid contact by going down the falls and trying to rescue at least the body so he can get a burial of some sort. That's a grim task of the father. Rescue the body of the father.
More noticeably, though, as all of you are thinking about what to do, you do see this individual that came in out of nowhere. Gilly, the one that threw the rope to you. And for the first initial introduction to you, Dennis, when they look at you, which I'm assuming is going to be standing there with everyone with the group, what do you look like?
So you see a really tall male human with blonde, long hair tied into braces, and he's carrying a huge great axe on his back, mostly naked torso, despite the cold, wearing mostly hides and furs, and yes, he's standing there like, what am I doing here? What is it? Did we do enough?
Now, quickly, I want everyone to describe real quickly to Dennis what you look like.
Graham is a Isoki rat folk. Little thing peculiar about him is that he has red fur. He looks to be a little bit on the younger side of rat folks, kind of green behind the ears a little bit. He has a longer snout than some of the other rat folks you might have seen, which suggests that he is one of the long snout rat folks, giving him the ability to have really good sense of smell. Equipped on him on his back is a nice longbow and just a traveler's pack as well. And he's wearing your average leather armor for a Yisoki.
Orithiel is tall and slender, typical for an elf. Wears loose flowing hide robes accentuated by leaves, branches, and feathers. Shoulder length auburn hair, blood red pupils.
Gilly, how about you?
Gilly is now a very wet, dripping with water from being in the stream halfling. So about 3 feet tall. That's less than a meter, I think. And she has dark hair, dark eyes, dark brown, both. Bit of some rings under her eyes, and is clad in padded armor, which one usually wears under heavier armor that is now laying somewhere beside this on the shore. And she's carrying with her this long weapon stick that didn't take a life today, but tried to save one or two.
Tony, Robin.
As you look at me, Rabbit, you see Kitsune standing there with a longbow in his hands, wearing a scale mail next to his pure black wolf. And as you look closer at his eyes, you see just a flame burning in there, as if Ifrit herself is basically in his eyes.
All right. What do y'all want to do?
Grove would like to help Gilly get out of the water, grabbing her by her arm and saying to her, "Look at you, you little hero."
Gilly coughs some water up. Thanks for the rope. I think. Thank you. And Gilly will then maybe look to the side and see if the body of the father is just floating there, and ask Grove to help her, like get at least like the body of the husband of the woman that was saved out.
I help you carry him. Sure.
You look strong.
Sure. I can get it.
As Gilly and Groff are going to get the body at the bottom of the second fall, 30 foot down, Graham, Refill, and Revit, what do you three want to be doing?
I try to console the mother and the children at least, and ask them if they want to give her husband a proper send-off, a proper burial at least, close by or somewhere near, to basically, well, pay the last respects to her husband and such.
Well, he always liked being outdoors. We'll bury him here. This place that took him. She sees as um, going to retrieve her husband's body is the two of you. She does mean to bury the body here on this kind of spot at this area. More conversation with her. We were heading to Oleg's for some supplies, but my husband wanted to take a different route. He he thought there was rumor of something on the other side of the falls here. And I told him it was a bad idea to go there, but now we're gonna go back to Nevakta's crossing, and I need to think of what to do, what to do now. And she kind of goes into her own inner thinking.
If it helps, we were also headed for Oleg's post. You could travel with us, perhaps.
I don't have anything now to give to Oleg or sell. Me and my husband had some wares. We acquired some belongings from within Restov, and we travel to Oleg's sometimes to give him what we can, but we don't have anything now. I don't I need to start over now.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to save any of it.
I
How are your
I saw you
injuries?
try. No, please your friends. You saved my life and my children. Thank you for that. That's a blessing I will always have now. And
I wouldn't want you traveling injured, if anything. Can I have a look at you?
uh,
The
yes,
rapids must have hit quite a
she's
bit.
definitely banged up.
I'll patch her up.
That's no real necessary. You patched her up easy enough. And over the course of the next couple hours, um, with her children not really understanding why they're burying the body of the father, um, they're still at that young age. Next to the falls, you get a cairn built of rocks, and she buries her husband there. The two workers accompany them to attend to the second wagon, which is now gone. And she thanks you one last time and tells you that she is now going to head back to Navakta's and contemplate what to do at that point onwards, leaving the rest of you to now split up and continue on your way. She does leave with a thanks on her mouth, and she tells you she can't do it right now, but if you ever return to find her in Restov, look for Nezra. That's her name, and she will reward you what she can. She can't right now because she lost all her belongings in these two wagons, but she does tell you that you will always have a place for her in her heart for saving her children, and she thanks you.
Um, how many days is Restov away by foot?
By foot, if she from Nevakta, she's only about maybe a day and a half away, and then about maybe 2 days from Restov if she essentially moves at a brisk pace without really resting.
Does she give off a vibe like she can forage for food on her own, or are they going to
Her,
be hungry for the
The
next
two
days?
children and two workers as well, right?
her not so much, but the workers do seem capable.
Okay.
One of them does seem to be a bit of a hunter, not really experienced, maybe like a level 0, but he does seem to be able to possibly provide, and they're only about a day away from Nevakta, so it should be okay to get there.
Apprentice Ranger.
Like, is there any way we can help them?
How do you want to
Sense
help
of,
out?
Ration.
It's up to you.
Or a blanket. They want to just go back into the, not really wilds, but still, it's not exactly a good place to rest here on the roads. We also would probably warn them of a pack of dogs roaming around to the east. If she's maybe like she wants to come to Oleg's post, and if she has some money on her, but like
You provide everything. You warn her about the dogs, the hunters. The hunter will keep that out, but they just being fed, they suspect they'll be okay to get back to Navakta. So then from there, they probably get passage with other caravans or the guard back to Restov.
Then Gilly will probably just speak aloud a prayer to Kaden, Salian, and wish them the luck the accidental god may give them.
She thanks all of you, and you watch as she, noon, the sun high in the sky, her 2 children, and the 2 workers head back east, back from where they came, back from where you were coming from.
Oh, English.
So, you guys, what is you're doing out here?
Ralph, was it?
Grove, with a G.
Yes, I'm Graham. Our group was tasked with going to settle. We have this charter to settle the broken lands, stolen lands, and we are headed over to Oleg's post to get some supplies and set up from there. What are you doing?
So, I've been to the manor of Lady Aldori and was trying to get on one of these charters, but was too late. And she told me to move behind a group of adventurers who had a big part in defending of an assassination. Are you guys? Is this
That's
really
us?
the coincidence? Really?
Insane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be us. You see Mary come walking up with her big ass great sword on her back. And Mary, you see Groff is just like you. And as she comes up, she just sizes you up and down. And she's trying to gauge her respective level or her respective abilities against your respective abilities. She knows what you are immediately. You know what she is immediately. Both barbarians. And after that, she just turns around and goes back to a little group of Jathal and Lindsay and go back to communicating with themselves.
Mm-hmm. So, you got a open spot for another warrior?
I think someone who's willing to help someone in need is always welcome here. And Gilly will look at the other members of this group.
Rem will nod in acceptance.
I agree.
You see Lindsay come
Yeah.
up, and as she does, she goes, well, the more the merrier. And she has her book open with a quill, and she's like, she's ink always spilling. Some's on the book, some's on the ground. So what's your name? As she's starting to like write down, and here it came out of the blue as a large warrior to help out our little group that was in a bit of trouble. And she's already like writing down notes on her book about you.
I need to look up the surname.
Always a little ray of sunshine, aren't you, Lindsay?
Well,
Name's Grove Lundrock.
Graf Lundrock. Okay, thank you. Arifia, anytime a moment of disaster or anything bad happens, the best way to bounce back is by being positive. And well, I've been through enough negativity that I always want to be positive. So yes, that's I think the only thing we can do is remain positive in the light of darkness.
Nicely done tending to the children.
It's the least I could do.
Well, if you're joining us, we have our mission, our task. We must press on to Oleg's post.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, if we can still
All right.
get further today.
Now here's the question. Because of our speed of the group, when we have the pack horse, all we have right now, so we only have one activity we can do. So we can only move or reconnoiter once per day, especially in this terrain right now, which means we either continue on by marching, but again, we can march successfully a number of extra days equal to your combat modifier. We have supple zeros here, so If you do march by moving, this will bring about the fatigue condition to the other party members. It's up to you as a group if you want to continue doing this way, or essentially spend days just moving across country towards Oleg's.
What do I think Graham and Orifio want to do? Are they ready to press on?
We're taking this side path because of some trouble on the main road, supposedly. Might we want to perhaps take our time and scout out the area, make sure that we don't run into whatever they were trying to avoid?
I agree with the reveal here. We should scout around first.
Would we be
Make sure we have a good vantage point.
to scout around today?
So essentially, we've already spent one activity. So we just spent one full day just getting here. When it turned, we can't really look at the calendar or the time because it says 12:30. But in this case, we did kind of spend the entire day moving through this area. If you want to scout it out, we'll essentially do that in mechanic terms tomorrow.
If we
Or
can,
if you march, we can continue on the same day to the next hex. Because when you do march, you have to continue doing the same activity you did previously. In this case, moving.
I think then it would make sense to continue marching, pressing on. If that's what we're left to do mechanically.
Now, do you want to move at the normal pace for those of you that are a little bit not so stamina based, or do you want to push on forward and take a little bit of fatigue?
I'm fine with fatiguing once.
Will you rest that away? Like mechanically? I don't know if you sleep.
Yeah, if you sleep, you get rid of the fatigue.
Okay.
Depends on what level of fatigue they're at. You might need to do longer rest.
Yeah.
if we look to the west on the map itself, I see some white. If we look that way, can we see any kind of snow or something? Or what kind of path is in front of us towards Oleg's?
It does seem heading towards the west does go from hilly terrain to grasslands. You do see it gives a little bit more level and less hilly.
Will we be going to the basically northwest, following the road? Right. That's the way we'll go.
Mm-hmm. Or you can just go west. Because the road's on grasslands, you could go cross country on grasslands, or take the road. Will be the same amount of essentially exploration activities.
I'd say we go northwest.
Yeah. Follow the road. Maybe help us do something on our charter if bandits are about.
If bandits are about. All right, so, and we're gonna march this in this case.
Yeah, I think so. Or Rifiel? What does the Rifiel think? Will they agree?
Looks like Graham's on board with it.
I can keep going.
All right. Those of you that have a 0 con modifier, add in the fatigue condition because you guys are a little bit tired, a little bit winded.
How do I click that?
Right click on your token and you'll see the, I believe, yep, the heart is the fatigue condition. Click on it one time. You'll see the same icon that's above Graham.
The status effects are in alphabetical order, I think, as well.
Yeah. But it's a heart if you zoom in.
Yeah.
So, right-click your token, and to the right of that menu is a assign status effect. It looks like a little halo around the guy. And on that, you should see the heartbeat, or the heart. Should be the third row from the top, on the very last column. While you do that, I'm going to take a bio break. So let's all take a 5-minute break.
Before you do that, I just have a note. I am going to dip at 28.
So in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a 5-minute break when we're done with that then. I need to take a bio break though, so give me 1 minute.
Gotcha.
Be right back.
Oh, Sheriff, come on. Well, my connection didn't crap out today. I'm surprised. Probably just jinxed myself.
So it's good.
Maybe it's finally stable. All right, so as we move on across the landscape, heading a bit towards the northwest, where you start to see the terrain getting a little bit flatter, more grassy terrain. Still a bit of clouds in the sky, more birds, more wildlife. About you see rabbits and other small game. The grass is going a little bit higher, and you see pockets of trees and about. But for most intents and purposes, you're able to move into the next hex. So someone move northwest one more hex. Oh, if you control that little guy,
It's not
switch over the
tracking.
move.
Clicking. No.
Someone drag it.
I'm clicking. It's not dragging.
It's not going.
It's not doing it.
I'll do it for you. Get green
Ah!
people.
I done it.
Hooray.
Magic! We teleported.
All right. So essentially, you've been doing a bit of marching, and we do arrive there at the end of a rather intensive march. It's about near like 7:32 p.m. now, as we do arrive. Graham, Raphael, you're not really accustomed to moving this much across the terrain. At the end of the night, your legs are intensely just numb from the amount of walking you've done. Raphael, your threat is essentially cold around your neck, not wanting to walk anymore as well. But you're able to hit the camp and just kind of collapse as
Yeah, I've been using my staff as a makeshift walking stick.
Gotcha. As Amiri is fine, Jathel's fine. Lindsay is Lindsay fine? I'm actually curious. Let's see. How's Lindsay? Lindsay's all right. She's I was starting to hit my limit, but I think I'm okay for let's get some rest. And she kind of collapses down on your little clearing area right now. And yeah, so I think for expediency, we'll move over to Oleg. I just want to continue doing to get the mechanics of this down. It's up to all of you. I want to explore the actual camping stuff once we go past Oleg's. Because I know we're kind of in a hurry to get there.
I'm down for expedience.
All right. So at this point, we'll spend. If we do marching, we'll get there in. So it's 1, 2, 3 days. So.
Oh boy.
3 more days of doing the same thing of moving across the landscape.
In the downtime when we are camping, is there any time for me to hunt or something to fill up our rations and maybe find stuff that we can trade in at Oleg's when we get there? or are we just moving and
I
well
just
not
want to
stopping?
move there. We'll do the full exploration mechanics once we actually do past the start, because I know we're on a bit of rush to get there in the first place.
It's a good point, though.
Okay.
Deduct 3 days worth of rations, I assume?
Don't worry about it. Experience, I'm gonna ignore that. We'll say you just did enough game to get yourself acquired for food, and we'll account for that when we actually start the full exploration mechanic.
Alright.
Soft start. I like it.
As is, we'll go and get you all this way. So, didn't really experience anything out of the ordinary. You came across one or two more bands of people, but eventually you do arrive. And as you're coming up to Oleg's, do you need to bounce out now, Annie?
I'm asking whoever I'm meeting if they're okay with a 5-minute push back, and we'll see. If I drop off in the middle of it, you'll know.
Okay. All right. As you are coming up to this fort, those of you that know, this is Oleg's, and as you come up, you see this is a four. It's a very very square, squat compound. It's made up of wooden palisade walls that are about 10 feet in height. In each corner, 4 of them, you do see what look like to be large towers, again 10 feet in height, but you can see just the top of what look like catapults that are on top of the walls. And the front entrance to this fort is actually 30-foot wide doorways that go into the fort itself. And as you come up, you can see that there are a number of buildings inside. You can see 3 clearly, and as you come up, you can start to hear ever so slightly the hammering of someone doing some type of hammer work, carpentry, and then you get to see there's an individual. It's on this top of one of the buildings. Looks like it's repairing the roof, and you see a bit of smoke coming from one of the chimneys in the rear of the compound. As you come up to Oleg's trading post, there's no one around. The only person you expect actually might have been here would have been Nezra and her 2 wagons. Might have been here beforehand, but beyond that, you see no one else. As all of you make your way and you arrive at Oleg's trading post. Anything we should do before we enter inside this place?
I just wanted to say, like, just role-playing wise, for everyone who had heard feet or so on, Gilly will try to lay on hands each evening, just to like do a bit of good PR for Kate and Kalian.
Ease your weary feet.
And drink.
I've got a question, Foundry-wise.
Yes.
Would it be possible to get a journal entry to take notes in for me as a player?
I think you have a. Oh no, you have this biography in there where you.
No,
can
I'll give you an actual one as well. Give me a second. I'll do a player.
Cool.
That would be awesome.
And you know what?
Cool.
I'll give you one as well. Ownership. All right. If you look in the journal section, Groff, you'll see one for yourself now.
Ah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Eventually, if you do keep notes, your biography is going to get really, really big. All right, so back to the question at hand. Is there anything anyone wishes to do before we enter into the post? Before we do any communication or experience or see anyone, for that matter?
Does Graham see anyone out of that he might recognize?
Graham, you just see right now, all you see is just one person, which is someone on the roof of one of the buildings, the hammering away, repairing the thatch roof on one of the buildings, and that's all you see.
Okay.
It's not a large compound, but you all know that we're at the southern end of essentially civilization at the moment, and this is probably the southernmost fort or place of civilization in Brevoy. So there's not going to be many people here. This is kind of like the edge of the frontier for a place to trade, and most likely, most logical is traders, trappers, or people that might still reside near this area will probably trade with Oleg's. But beyond that, there's no houses, there's no community. It's probably Oleg himself, and that's it.
Okay. There's no signs of any rat folk community around this position at all.
No.
Okay.
Establish one.
Yeah. Maybe. Possibly. I was actually going to use this as the opportunity for the bow out. I don't know if that makes sense for you, Hursk.
We'll say it's definitely part of the story. We'll say there's a traveling group of like so we could say if you want to go that route.
Yeah. Okay. And
We'll say there's a caravan of Yosoki that are moving towards the north, towards Numeria.
towards the north. Okay. And then in speaking with the Yosoki, what Graham will find out is that one of the cases he's on, the case of the you're here. The case of the fraudulent alcohol of moving alcohols illegally. He needs to head over to Numeria, and he's been informed by one of his mother's assistants, basically from this caravan. So he's going to take this time now to talk to the rest of the party. Well, friends, it seems I am needed elsewhere. So with that, I know it's been tough travel so far, but I feel like the rest of you will be able to go on and get what Lady Jamandi needs you to do and make a better place of what we have here in front of us. Hopefully,
Graham have told us of that, what's going on, what he's investigating.
Gilly will actually know about it because that's kind of how they ran into each other. They met at a bar basically, and Graham was trying to follow this investigation through.
Yeah, Gilly can probably tell the story of it, and we'll probably have a word with Graham and say that Gilly said that that Graham has to leave now, but wish us all the best, and should Graham be able to come back at some point, hopefully this little outpost will just not be Oleg, maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
Shalogram, if we run into anything, we'll be on the lookout.
That sounds great. There are Yosoki campouts all over the place. Perhaps you can leave notes with them and they will try to get back to me. But with that being said, I will go with this caravan and head towards finishing off this investigation. I wish all of you the best of luck.
And you watch as this little small, maybe dozen small community of Yosoki, one with a small little couple colorful wagons, with Graham, they head on off towards the north, leaving just now the four of you, as well as Lindsay, Amiri, and Jathal behind. As you can, if you want to at this time, go and see what Oleg's is all about.
Do we see anything out of the ordinary? Like since they are repairing something, have they been under attack or something, or not?
Give me a perception roll, or a word for lore if you have it.
Well, thanks, game. see. I have warfare lore, so I'll roll that. And
Yeah,
I
no idea.
completely failed.
The place just looks unused, and because it's been unused, it's been worn down over time. You see no signs of battle. You see no signs of fire damage. There are no like hoof marks outside to account for like cavalry or whatnot. There's no arrows sticking out of walls. It just seems a place that is at the edge of the frontier and have to deal with that aspect.
Gilly will probably call out to the person standing on the roof. Just announce ourselves and that we're friendly. We want to.
Good. What do you say?
Hey there, are there? Can we enter?
You see the man stand up, and it's a very, very gruff-looking man in his 30s. And as he stands up, he looks at all of you. He doesn't really see anything, but he does turn around. Dear, we've got some people here. He turns around and kind of just looks at all of you. Doesn't say anything really anymore, but after a couple of seconds, you see the front door to one of the buildings open up from your vantage point, and a woman, also about the same age in her 30s, she does step out of one of the buildings, and you see that she has a bit of blondish hair and has got a little bit of a handkerchief that is tied back, blue in color. And she actually comes up towards all of you, and she's got a large, large smile on her face. You see the man go, they're wondering if they can come inside. Oh, of course, of course. Please, we love to have guests. Come inside, come inside. And she's got a big smile on her face as she beckons all of you to come into the fort. It's nice to have visitors. My name is Svetlana. It's nice to meet you. Pardon my brutish husband up there, Oleg. He's just a little bit annoyed repairing the roof right now. How are you?
And Gilly will introduce each one of us and say it's been a long road, and we're very happy to have somewhere a roof over our head, be it still to be repaired.
Oh,
Thank you for having us and your kindly demeanor.
oh, absolutely. Are you here by chance from Restov?
Exactly, and Gilly will take out the charter, this official-looking document. Say, there's not been a lot of people coming through here, huh?
Actually, there have been a couple people through here, but not in a nice manner. Um, at this point, as you're all talking inside one of the buildings, Svetlana, she waits for her husband Oleg to come inside. Oleg, these are the people from Restov. Yeah, I figured that much. So you're the ones that are gonna be sent here by Jamandi?
Yes.
And I imagine after that you're here to do what?
Oh, I think one of the main things we are here to do is rid this region of everything keeping it back. Maybe
Bring it to a little bit of order. Clear it of banditry, for one.
yes.
And then what are you gonna do? After the bandits are cleared out, what's this charter? Svetlana, what are you looking at? It's just a charter to remove the bandits by the Lord Mayor of Restov.
Well, there is talk about fortifying this region.
And you see, there it is. That's what's going to happen is we're now going to have more people here, more of the official, more of civilization here. And you see Oleg is getting a little upset by all this. And you see Svetlana, dear, you need to calm down. If these men are here, we would have more trouble. You know what's going to happen if more of those tax collectors do what they've been trying to do? They've been threatening us for every time now. For the last 3 months, they've been threatening us. And you see that Oleg just kind of waves his hands in the air. Fine, we could use the help. And you see Svetlana turn to all of you. I I know I know you're here by this charter, but there's something else I would wish to ask you. Um, please, Oleg, can you get the meals and a bottle of wine prepped, please? And you see Oleg go, all right. And he goes into the kitchen and starts to prepare a bit of food. You can start to smell it coming from the kitchen. As it's maybe already being stewed for this morning when you all came into this day. But he just come out with a couple of clay tankards and a bottle of wine. But he actually uncorks and pours for all of you, as well as Mary, Jathel, and Lindsay. And then he doesn't really talk much. He leaves his wife to speak for Svetlana to speak for him. We've actually not had many visitors here. Me and my husband, we've had a bit of issue in Rostov and wanted to start someplace better, someplace new that's not really going to be overbounded by laws and more of the nobility of the country. And Oleg had his mind here at this outpost, and at first it was great about 4 months ago, but about a month after we got started, a group of people came in here, and at first we thought they were just going to be like the other trappers that were selling some of their furs or some of the equipment they found within these lands here, but they immediately demanded our supplies we had well, they would burn down our trading post if we didn't give it to them, and they just said it was for the tax collection. And me and my husband, we're not fighters.
Did they provide any official documentation? Like,
No, they're bandits, is what they are. No good bandits just saying they're working for this place. And she has to kind of calm down, Oleg. He's right. They're just bandits, and they come now every month, the second day of the month to collect their tax collection, which is pretty much everything we've acquired throughout the month. And if we don't give them everything, they promise to burn down our I know that's tomorrow. They're going to be here tomorrow at sunrise. About 1 hour after sunrise is when they're going to show up. I do. Are you here to help out with this, or?
It's precisely what we're here to do. We plan to scout out the region westward and southward, but now it sounds like they'll be coming to us.
Yes.
Rolf
I look around the group.
takes a sniff at the wine. If I'm to fight off bandits, I need beer. And puts the jar back on the desk on the table.
If you find out these bandits, we'll Oleg and I will give you rooms here to stay, and we have many fine wines still. Oleg's like, for free? Yes, Oleg, for free. You can stay here, and we can give you food and wine for. We're about to go broke completely. We're gonna lose this fort if we can't stop these bandits. They've come 3 times now, and we can't afford more times.
How many of them will come tomorrow then? Do you know their numbers?
So the very first time they came here, it was about a dozen of them with. It looks like they had 2 leaders. One was a woman with hatchets. She actually almost took Oleg's arm when he talked back, but I was able to stop her. But then she stole something. But also there's another man. She never came the second and third time, but the other man. The woman seemed a bit smart, like she was the one that lead everything. The other man was a bit brutish. he came the last 2 times, and each time has been less and less. The last time there was only 5 people. The second time there was 7. So they they probably think we're complacent now. They probably think we're weak because we can't fight up to them. Oh, like calm down, please, please. I suspect that tomorrow there would be even less than last month.
Perhaps we could set up an ambush where they don't expect us and try to capture them, so we can probably find out information from them about where their base is, how many of them there are, and if we perhaps can, well, root them out where they are.
Yes, I agree. That is a good idea.
How many capable hands do we have here?
It's just me and my husband Oleg, and you're not gonna fight, Svetlana. You're either. We've actually sent a missive to Rostov for soldiers, and we actually got letter back that a group from Germany is gonna arrive here sooner than the guards, and that's I'm thankful that that's you. But
Obvious.
we're
Yep.
we're not fighters.
If what you say is correct and there will be 5 or less people coming here, then you and Oleg don't even need to fight. We can handle it on our own, I reckon. When I look at the group of 7,
Ravik, can we set up any
people.
traps?
Especially if we have the element of surprise, right?
They probably won't be expecting anyone here, especially since they've been taking all our wares. We haven't had people couldn't really buy from us, and some people knew that they were just having their stuff stolen, so they didn't want to bring more things here. So they're probably not going to expect anything tomorrow.
We could probably set some traps, yeah. Are there any places that we could lure them in here? Where are the wares? Are they in in a separate building, or?
One second.
They arrive here at sunrise every day.
1 hour after sunrise, right?
1 hour after sunrise.
That's
And
Gilly would also ask someone if the straps on her armor could be mended in that time. So she can use her armor.
I can look at it if you want to. You got some tools here, Oleg?
Yeah, of course I have tools here. Alright, there we go. I was trying to get done.
and you don't have much for them to loot now because you haven't had many merchants, right?
No, we've got just a little bit, but they've been taking everything from us. And he kind of points. Our stock room over there, and he points to this building over here. They always get our supplies from there. They come in with horses, and they take everything. We just stand back and let them do everything. I want to fight back, and you see that he's starting to get more kind of upset about this, and Svetlana has to kind of calm him down.
Hypothetically speaking, Oleg, how do you think they would react if a merchant was to arrive around the time that they're looking to come?
They'll probably do the same thing. They're probably going to take their wares for tax purposes, for a tax collection. They're just
One
bandits.
of us could act as bait then.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe. Is this the only entrance to the south?
Yes.
Gilly asks. Okay. We could maybe trap them here and surround them.
You see Amiri kind of step forward. Why the deceiving? There's 7 of us. There's going to be, 4 of them? Hell, even a half dozen. We're more than capable of taking out mere bandits. That's why we just charge in when they show up.
I try to calm Amiri down and explain her why we want to capture them instead of just kill them or scare them away.
We can capture them easy enough, but why the deception of sneaking around and playing like we're merchants? We're not merchants.
Amiri,
Well, come on,
More
Groff, what do you think?
advantages.
You think
you-
you want to deceive these people by acting like a merchant?
when you
I do
hunt-
agree with Amiri on this part. Like, we don't look like merchants at all.
I have a disguise kit.
Also, when you hunt in the wilderness, do you just barge into the first
Yes,
animal?
of
you see?
course.
Oh, okay. I think we hunt differently then.
Well, I guess with your
With-
size, it might need to.
A few cloves, I can make myself look like a merchant.
I think barging in is also a good idea after we have them lured in. Because we will definitely need someone who charges in and surprises them. So, Amiri, I think your idea does have a lot of value. Just at the right time.
All this
We
play
could-
is, all you civilized folk are just so different. Fine, fine, fine. And she kind of goes toward the wall to be a little by herself.
Gilly will ask Grove if he agrees on the charging in, or just to like get a feel for his tactics.
What about we let them get in and Amiri and I are waiting at the gate, closing it that they're in and charging in.
I like that.
Close it behind them?
Maybe, yeah, and maybe Orifiel, you could be there so they think there's a lot more to get disguised as a merchant. So they think, oh, we will also go to the cart that you are near and have a look through there. And the other part, maybe split them up so they are isolated from one another.
There's a cart
I could-
nearby, right?
Yeah, you can see on the
Is
map.
it like a enclosed cart, or is it open?
It's open to the top.
It's open to the top.
I could probably also stand in the guard tower and see when they come. And probably alert you guys if there are more of them, or if we need, need any help or not.
Because they will probably not come in here if it looks different than the last time. Like if there are people on the, is there like some we can walk along here and look over
Yeah, right
the
here.
palisade?
Yeah. So the palisade wall is about 10 feet high. Those are about maybe 5 feet in height. So those allow you to see over the walls.
They are cowards. If they see that they are outmatched, they will not come in here. Bandits are generally very cowardly people.
Jathal speaks up. I agree with Gilly. If they see us here, we are not commoners, we are not merchants. They see our weapons and our clothing, they'll run if there's less than a dozen of them. We'll need to hide to have them enter in.
I would like to hide in the cart.
Maybe turn the cart on the side so they can't see it.
No, the cart will need to be proper if we go with
True.
the merchant disguise.
Would be a little bit odd otherwise.
Oh no, I
No
just
cart on the
arrived here,
side.
and the cart fell
Even
down.
if there wasn't a merchant here, having the cart on its side might look
Yeah.
suspicious.
True. So where should we hide then?
Can we have a look around?
You can. Svetlana looks at you. I can give you a tour if you would like.
All right.
She points at this building right there, and she tells you that's a storage pen. Um, that's where we originally had most of our things to sell before those bandits came here and took everything. But now they go into there. They go into our own building. They just take whatever they want. And as you see now, it's empty now because we can't hold anything.
Do you have anything in there that you could drape over the supplies?
We have tarps and we can uh, cover things, but we have no supplies right now. You want to make supplies or?
I just mean, if we fill up the cart, if Gilly wants to get in there, I can put Larast in there as well.
Yeah, we can cover.
Fill it with our own supplies. If
can
we have
cover the
something to
cart.
drape over them.
We can cover the cart with a tarp. We have a couple here still.
That may work to advantage.
Could I move about the map? Like,
Yeah,
have a look at
it's
it?
not paused.
Um,
She points over here. Those are the stables.
Movement is set to combat terms. There's
Yes.
an error message.
Oh, there you go. My bad. You see, there is one horse currently inside that place.
I have to say this map is really cool that when you go into a building, that the roof just disappears.
Oh, does it?
It's pretty nifty.
Oh, that's awesome.
As
That is
always,
cool.
Paul, great job on the map.
That is amazing.
Thank you. So
Oops.
as Svetlana takes you around, she takes you to the stables, the oil pens. She also takes you to these pits at the back of the place. Those are middens. They're actually 3-foot deep composting pits, so it's for manure and what like that. So there's a bit of smell coming from those. She takes you to the place down here, the southeastern structure, and she tells you that's a guest house. That's where we typically charge 5 copper a night with a breakfast and dinner included. But for all of you for helping us out, well, you can have this for free while you stay here. And then our main building, and she shows you the main building, which is at the northeastern section. That's where our office and our bedrooms are located in some of our supply wares. Oleg, so have you seen enough?
And Gilling is getting a bit pissed about his attitude. Just like, yes, we've seen enough to probably help you.
Haven't seen any beer yet. So the bandits took the beer, so you just got wine left?
They took the wine, the beer. I just had one bottle stowed away.
And Gilly is humbled by them sharing their last bottle with them. It has not just like it has religious significance.
So are you visibly kind of like annoyed, Gilly?
Like sometimes when he talks, Gilly just frowns deeply and just can't help it.
You see, Svetlana does notice this, and she kind of comes up to you. Please pardon Oleg. He's not typically like this. He's under a lot of stress right now, and honestly, if it wasn't for me, he probably would have fought back already. But between having our wedding ring stolen and him being unable to fight back, he's just incredibly frustrated. And we actually moved out here because of nobility that we both had to deal with. He is a very good craftsman, but the nobles in Restov actually wanted to underploy and not pay him what he is worth, and he wanted to get away from all that, and he does suspect that this charter means that Rostov might actually move more south, or Brevoy might expand more to the south, and now come back into our new home. So he's a little upset by this, but please don't take anything personal. He really is going to be thankful. He is thankful for having help here.
Can understand Svetlana also keeping it together and doing the right thing under all of this stress.
He's a good man. He's just
I was talking about you specifically, but like
Thank
probably
you.
him too.
Thank you. He's my better half. I'm thankful that he found me and we found each other.
Yeah.
Did Svetlana say that they stole their wedding ring?
Yes. Actually, the first night when that woman with the two knives, um, when Oleg said no to her, she was actually about to cut off his hand. Um, I, I screamed and she stopped, but she she took my ring as payment for not shortening Oleg's reach.
As Svetlana says that they can see that Revit is just starting to get more and more angry about it, and just suddenly says like, "That's just not done. Stealing the wedding ring of someone's wife. So whatever the cost, we're gonna get everything back, including the wedding ring, and making sure they will never ever set foot in here again."
Me,
Thank you.
was overhearing. Did they take anything else of note?
No, just our supplies and everything. We don't really have anything left here.
No other valuables.
Uh, Not that I can account for. The only thing that was really valuable was my wedding ring that from Oleg.
Just the wedding ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can probably get some of the stuff back if we know where they are, so let's try to give them a chance to at least I know this is a hard ask, but at least try to change their ways in some way. There are so many of them out there. Probably I think at least some of them will be ready to rat out their other companions and maybe other groups they know. And I think it's much more valuable than just cutting them all down.
That's so noble. You see Lindsay kind of speak up. Changing someone's heart would be the best way to have them know what they've done, and then they can be better for that. Jatho just kind of speaks in. They've done evil acts already. They deserve what comes to them.
If 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 it were that easy, I think half of the people you know would just disappear.
No
I
one
think
has an
like
easy life. Unless you're a king, no one here has ever had an easy life. Especially not anyone of our trade.
yes.
He's right. That doesn't mean we have to make it more difficult.
Yes. But I think tomorrow morning is going to be very difficult. Can I count on you, Jathel, to be at least a bit hesitant with your scythe? And not just kill them outright?
If they fight me, I'll do what needs to be done.
If we want to know where they are, we need information. So the best thing is to capture at least one of them and find out what he knows and where they are.
And I think the more we have,
Well, aren't you a tracker? You should be able to track them by their tracks.
That's true, I can probably track them, but since we don't have information and it's been a month ago that they last came, I can't
What-
track those
what if
tracks at
there's-
the moment.
A tracker among them. They could easily work on covering their tracks.
it's not always.
That's true as well.
We don't have enough information.
I'm gonna defend myself the best way I can. If the fight is under control, I'll let you take one alive.
I was hoping for more than one, but we'll see. The moment of battle is always a bit different than the plans we lay beforehand.
It depends on them if they surrender or not. If they fight to the death, well,
Well, of course
we
they're
can
they're bandits.
Hmm.
The moment a couple of them bleed, half of them fall, they'll bust and run.
And that's where Growth and Amiri will have closed the doors already. But cornered wild animals will probably fight to their death. I don't think that's true of common folk.
If they're wild animals, they're gonna cower in fear.
Let's hope for that too.
Best thing we can do is prepare and just hope for the best in this case.
Alright. Well, how do all of you want to prepare for this? Unfortunately, they don't really have supplies to help out with any means of defense. You look at the catapults, and they are beyond repair at the moment, or they're not beyond repair, but they're beyond immediate repair. They'll need several weeks just to get up and functioning again, which means defense is solely on all of you.
Growth would
Okay.
like to get to Amiri first, looking her in the eyes. So, you're up with this, us standing at the gate, closing it behind the bandits as soon as they got in.
So they can't run away, so we can cut them down? Absolutely.
Great. So, our first big battle. I'm excited to see you fight. Let's see how competitive this gets.
Ha! Just because I'm a woman, don't underestimate me. Others have done that and they paid the price. She gives a bit of a smile. And then goes to find a place to prepare on how this is gonna play out in the morning. It's 6:40, so it's getting near sundown now.
After that, Grove turns over to Gilly. You want to give me that breastplate? Trying to mend it.
Yes, thank you. I'll try to help as best as I can. Do we need to do any sort of check for that?
Crafting.
Not Grove's strong suit.
I can repair it. And you see Oleg kind of come up. If no one amongst you has a skill,
After Gilly and Grove are fumbling about, what this goes there? What this? It just comes over.
if you're gonna defend my home, at least I can reimburse you by repairing your armor so you're actually fully defended. He takes the armor from you and Groff and goes to start getting to working together. And after a couple hours, he does give it to you. So late at night, he does hand you the armor back.
Will we be like doing a rotation of still guards around the walls, or at least someone to?
You continue.
Yeah, I think like Gilly would then be first watch and just stay on the wall at the entrance just to be sure.
I'd like to check with Svetlana, is it, and Oleg, see what clothes they have on hand, see if they have anything that I can put together to make myself not look like a witch or a druid and just a simple old merchant. Have my disguise kit to
Well, let's see random luck. Go ahead and
modify
roll
my
me a
appearance.
d20. 15 or more. Do you have a spare set of clothing? Maybe not themselves, but they would like maybe sell. They do. You got merchant disguise.
Okay.
Paul, I wrote you a private message in that regard. Should I just roll a d20 and then we do it?
Yeah, just gonna give me a hidden roll.
Okay. Can I make
Okay.
it? Can I do it like a flat check hidden roll? Just.
Yeah, hold on control and click.
Oops. I'm sorry.
It's all good. No, this works. I'll get you in a moment. Everyone, continue doing what you're doing.
Worst case scenario, if they're more black tears or the like, and if there's any chance they might recognize us, I'm just going to use the cosmetics in my disguise kit to make myself not as recognizable. Simple wigs, just some contacts to cover up.
Where?
And once I'm done with that, I want to set up the cart with my equipment.
Gilly will want to help with that.
Maybe the stuff in that we've got from Graham, the stuff that's currently with the party donkey. Put that in there and just drape it over if we can. Maybe a small little wooden cage, like keep it unlocked and like put Laras in there as a exotic animal.
Oh, you trade in exotic pets like cats and halflings.
You can be in like underneath like whatever equipment we can scrounge up and like. That's my idea, anyway.
So Gilly wouldn't be on display, right? I mean, it would be a little bit
No,
odd.
Gilly wouldn't be on display.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it would just be in there, and if anyone asks, hopefully the main gates will be already closed, so we don't have to put up with that charade.
Perhaps an empty crate in the cart where you just sit in the crate waiting.
I could wait. Yeah.
Yeah. And like so Growth and Amiri are like at the main gates in some sort of way hidden, right? Because if there are like two barbarians standing there, muscles bulging, standing there. Oh, don't mind us.
If the gates are open, they are probably standing this way, so they'll be behind the gate, most likely.
That was the plan, at least what I had in mind.
Okay.
So we need a sign to when to close the gates, because if the gates are in front of Broth and Amiri, they can see when the last person got into the outpost.
All right.
So I'm going to be out in the open. I'll probably be the best to give the sign.
Oleg and Svetlana, as we go over these plans, do you want us to be out here, or can we be inside the house?
Where you would be normally. Just make everything appear as normal as possible until the very last moment.
Svetlana, you greeted us. If we could replay the scene. You come out to greet us. Oleg can be inside. You can go and fetch him as they come, and they'll see me.
Maybe that could be a problem in the sense that you're standing there waiting until they come and then you play it out. Maybe we just maybe you're just staying here, you know? I don't know. I don't know what's the most natural thing to do.
We can try to gather up some things that look like supplies and make it look like we're loading up the wagon for him to leave this morning or next morning.
That's a good idea.
That'll give me and Oleg a reason to be out here. And each Oleg say, "No, I will do this, but Svetlana stays inside. She's not going to be out here."
Fine by me.
Yes.
Perhaps just a parchment so we can go over the cargo. Just if both of us are occupied with it mentally, it could help to sell the deception.
Well, most of you have here are going to be furs, pelts from animals, and any small object they've been found in ruins. So some small items or knickknacks. But most things would have here would be pelts.
We don't need to go too over the details. We just need to make it look like we're doing that.
I'll write something up. Lindsay and Jathal speak up. So Amiri and Groff are gonna close the doors so they can't leave. Gilly's hiding in the wagon. Raphael is gonna be the merchant. Well, where do you want me and Jathal to be at?
I think first we have to be hiding. So maybe someone in the stables and someone in the guest house, just ready to get out and help take these bandits down. Yeah.
Where would you want me to be?
In disguise on the tower, I think, so you can give us a signal when someone is coming, and with your bow, it will probably be the best to be up there and find stragglers, find if someone is alone, and call out if you see someone going the wrong way or trying to flank us.
I could use change shape to change myself into a normal looking human and perhaps look like I'm repairing the catapults on the walls.
That might be a thing, but only if you are seen. If you are not seen, it would probably be even better. So they think there is just Oleg and Svetlana there. If they see anyone, they'll probably turn around and come back with more people.
It may be suspicious if there's more people than they expect.
But you can change your shape. That is...
I could probably look like a normal human merchant or whatsoever, or maybe a craftsman.
Do you have a limited amount of time to do that? Or
I can change shape whenever I want, basically.
Man, life as a halfling is boring sometimes.
I can remain in my alternate form indefinitely, and you can shift back to your true Kitsune form by using this action again. So basically I can change whenever I want.
I think it is a better thing to first look normal, so they don't feel like something has changed, but still probably try to stay hidden near the catapult, so they are not spooked, or near the catapult or near the gate, wherever you want to be, where you think is best.
All right.
And
Unless you want to join me, but I don't know if having multiple merchants would set off any alarm bells in their heads.
Would a merchant travel on his own through these lands?
Some might. You bring up a good point.
Yeah, that's true. We still do need some sort of lookout, like just to know if they are coming, so we can get a signal to get to our
They'll be
places.
here. They've always been the second day after the beginning of the month, out after sunrise is when they've always showed up.
Our sunrise, what time is that, if I may ask?
It's winter-ish, right?
Because I have dark vision and low light vision. If there's basically almost no sun or no light yet, then they won't be able to see me on top of the walls, at least.
So sunrise will be 6 o'clock. So 7 o'clock they'll be here.
An hour after sunrise.
Yeah,
So there
so-
should be enough light already.
7 o'clock they'll be here.
Since it's all flatlands, would I be able to see them coming before the sun is up, or at least before the sun has risen up far enough where they
Most
can
likely.
normally see?
Most likely.
Great. Okay.
In that case, I can see them coming, let you guys know how many of them there are, and hide myself before they even know I'm there.
Unless they got someone that can see as well as you.
True.
Let's just hope. There's a lot of hope involved.
I go to Svetlana and ask her if she has seen any other kinds of people. Like, are they all humans when you first saw them, or were there any other people like kitsunes or halflings or?
There's always been humans. There might have been elf, but I didn't see anyone that are anything smaller than a human. I haven't seen any dwarves or halflings.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, at least.
You're welcome.
So I could, if we just assume that what Svetlana says is true, then there are only humans most likely. And they wouldn't see me on top of here, at least before I see them.
All right. So is that the course of action?
I think we have a plan. Well, no. Have Lindsay and J-Fold decided?
Jithal's going to be
how to
here,
go about it?
and Lindsay will be here.
Okay.
We still have a healing potion in our with our party donkey. Maybe Grove can take it.
I even have 2 lesser healing potions with me on this moment.
Same here. Like, I think Keely will ask everyone if it's okay to give it to Grove, and I assume everyone is okay with it.
Of course, Grove of the party is in our party. Why shouldn't he get a potion?
This is not beer. I am sorry for it.
He looks a little bit disappointed.
If we can capture one of them and know where they are, then you can get all the beer you want.
Might give you a
there are
nice little metabolism boost, though.
Yes.
two
Might feel like beer. Maybe.
2 healing potions, and I get 1, right?
Like, if you can open the party
The
party
donkey,
donkey
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
sectors, and you can
There are
just
2
drag
in there.
over there.
Yeah.
There are 2 in there. Yeah,
There are
Yeah,
2 in
there's 2
there.
in there.
I think.
Okay.
Great.
Oh, there's a
Should I
merchant,
take
yeah.
both, or should we?
It's better to take both, just for
You
Okay.
can have both in this case.
Two things that are not beers.
They look like something red like wine.
It's
not going
it's
to
a
drink
curse
that.
sometimes. You cannot get the drink you want. I can tell you a lot about it. Caden Kalian has probably written something in his book of aphorisms.
Mechanically, can I get them onto my belt to grab them with one action?
Yeah.
Or do I need
Yeah.
some special type of clothing?
I like bandoliers, but they're removed for some damn reason. So yeah, unless it's in your backpack, I would say you'd be able to get them on your clothing.
I think
Mhm.
Pathfinder designers felt that it was too complicated.
I like the bandolier aspect.
They kept it as flavor,
Yeah.
but
At least we can have the flavor. I like that.
Mm,
Also, Gilly will say a beer in the hand is worth 2 at the bar. And leave it at that.
would it be okay if I get me a bandolier?
Yeah, go for it.
Just a little irritated. It says 0 GP.
Just go and take one. I'm not gonna worry about it.
Okay.
because they've been removed, so
They don't exist
I think
anymore.
they might be left over on Foundry.
Yeah.
But
It's the
Right,
ultimate rarity
the-
item or bandoliers. It's like ultimate treasure.
They are in the companion browser, so. Okay.
Where does Revan want to be after? Like up here? Is that all right? Do you get like a bonus for firing from above? Is this like Divinity 2?
I don't believe you get a bonus for being above.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I think we're ready to go.
All right.
I'm just gonna check my spells.
All right. So everyone, you have it. Go and take a long rest. So character sheet at the if you need it. Top left, hit that little bed icon. Get your spells up and running, restored.
I don't think I need it. 'Cause I haven't spent anything though.
And Gilly will probably at some point say that these people might be associated with this bandit lord. I think Lady Jamandi mentioned that it was the Stag Lord. Something in that regard. She says that she heard about this entity in these parts and that they might be associated with him, so it might give us a sort of lead to find further bandits and fulfill the charter, or at least get ahead with the charter.
What
I don't
did
know
she tell
who
about
they
this
follow.
stack?
Sorry, go Dennis.
What did she tell about this stack lord? Any details?
I think she did. He's a bandit lord who's making these parts unsafe.
Maybe he's the one who sent those bandits to collect the taxes.
One would hope that they are not that organized, but he probably takes taxes from them, and it's just built one dirty layer after another dirty layer of everyone taking from everyone. And Gilly just shakes her head and spits on the floor. on the dirty mud that, or is it's probably a frontier outpost. It's not that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the night does pass. It's not one of joyous talk because we're about to get into a fight. You realize, you understand in the morning. So it's a time where everyone is getting ready. Might be a little bit restless, a little sleepless. You're not experienced adventurers yet, so this is a little bit nervous for some of you. You're not sure how many might show up. This might be a time where many more than previous has shown up, or there might be a time where they can be fine just burn down this place because they're fed up with it or they're bored of this place. Svetlana and Oleg are also very, very restless, very, very nervous, but also a little bit hopeful. As the morning comes, nothing, thankfully, comes during the night. But as the morning does rise, it's another clear, nice sky. Temperature starting to warm up a little bit. The sun is just starting to light up that horizon. Everyone is getting up, getting ready. And Miri is pretty much always in armor. Lindsay, Jathal are getting ready. They're preparing their morning spells, their morning effects. And Miri does sharpen her blade. All of you get to the ready. Svetlana, Oleg, they do come out, and you see them. They're very, very nervous. They're starting to try to get through those jitters. Britfield, you got your clothing on to look more of a merchant. Gilly, you hide in the wagon. Do you cover the wagon with a tarp?
Yes.
So they do.
Yep.
They come over. They put the top over. They disguise it in a way to not look like it is completely tied down, but to look like it's actually going to be normal. And we get to complete sunrise, 6 a.m., about an hour before they arrive. Is there anything anyone wishes to prepare before we allow them to arrive?
Oleg is going to be with me when they arrive. As far as looking suspicious, waiting for them, I think instead we come out and try to anticipate when they're arriving. So we come out as though Oleg is doing business with me. Maybe Ravik can give us a signal as well. But around 7 o'clock, we're coming out. We're going over the inventory of the cart. I just discussed that with Oleg. I would like to.
I'll be here. Svetlana will be in the house.
Mm-hmm. Keep her far from trouble.
What will you be shouting as we should close the doors? As soon as we should close the doors, some sort of signal to know when to close.
Assuming perhaps they might be interested in trade, I'll usher them all in.
The doors do close like this, so you two will be able to hide very, very well behind the doors.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. No need to be shy. I have plenty of wares to trade.
And
plenty of fresh wares as well.
I think I'm realizing
That
right now what Gilly
would be
might
my
say
signal.
is that that Oleg would probably, like, if this would all be real, Oleg would probably know that they would be coming again. They have said so. So if they come in here and they talk to Oleg and say, why is he here? He might be able to say, just take his stuff, please, instead of mine.
True.
Like,
True.
I kept him here.
Sell me out.
Yeah, exactly.
Double cross me.
Interesting.
So it's less weird. For them, at least.
Okay, I can do that. All right. Are we ready? Game positions to move on to 7 o'clock? An hour after sunrise?
I think we are.
I think the signal then would be Oleg double crossing us if That's fine by you. I looked at Oleg.
I'm pretty sure that the signal will be when they pull the tarp away from the cart, and probably Gilly just jumps out
That
and
also
punches
works.
someone in the face.
Ideally, we want to close the doors before that happens, but
Yes.
Well, ideally, we want to close the doors on the moment we know there are not any more coming in.
that's why we need someone who can see what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, just you give the signal, I think, Orifiel or Oleg. At the moment when you think it's right, I think Orifiel, you have the best.
Yeah.
The best vision of everyone here from the ground.
We may need to work this out in the moment.
Yes.
All right.
We
Robin,
agree on a signal.
check your chat. It is about 6:50.
Who's checking chat?
I'm calling out to Orville
Okay.
before they are in hearing distance. I can see 4 horses moving towards us.
Okay. Oleg, 4 horses. Time to move out. Let's sell this best we can.
We get to a little bit after 7, but after an hour of sunrise. The temperature seems maybe a little bit colder, but maybe because it's the anticipation, the nerves, the adrenaline, that edge, that knife edge at the brink of a fight that's gonna happen here. Or if you're ready, your muscles are tense. Maybe a little sweat upon your brow. Oleg is there, talking, bit small talk to you, Urfeel. You watch as Svetlana leaves, goes into the building. You see Jathal holding the scythe, Lindsay with her rapier, and Mireille Grolf are hiding behind the 2 doors on the other side. Revit, do you stand there at the edge, or on that platform?
No, I'm sitting down on the just below the top of the wall, so they don't see me.
Okay, but you're on top of this right here though, this platform.
Yeah.
Okay, so about 5 feet up. All right. So as they're coming up, you see these 4. You hear the galloping first. You hear a bit of the small banter, and all of you can kind of hear. Do you need me to bring out Larasta, Refuel?
Just sorry. Just I ask a question.
Oh, is that whispered? I didn't realize. Is whispered still playing?
We
No,
were
you
just
don't-
passing notes. Sorry, teacher.
No, it's okay.
I didn't realize that's what. Forgot how they were.
Right click on my name. And
Gotcha.
You can hear the galloping horses. You can hear there's a bit of small talk. You can hear before the horses enter in. You hear, "Let's make this fast. This shit's gonna be easy. Let's go grab the stuff and let's get out of here." And then, Refuel, you see this. You see the 4 individuals are galloping up on horseback, and you see they are gonna enter into the compound itself. And you can see that you have clear line of sight to Rabbit.
Yep.
Okay. You watch as the horses gallop up. Each one carries a individual. Now, Refuel, you can see this. Revit, from your vantage point, you can kind of see this. They look like bog standard bandits, as it were, the clothing. One does stand out a little bit. He's got a bit of a cloak. And you see as Oleg kind of motions to you, the one on the dark brown horse, that is one of the other leaders that always comes with the group, pointing to this guy right here. As they're galloping in, that one speaks up. Oleg! What's going on here? You got some shit already going on?
These other traders, Oleg? I did not realize you traded with so many this early.
Watch as the horses go back. One comes up here. Dig off the horseback onto the ground.
This is all of them.
This is all of them.
Okay.
Oleg, who's your friend here? And he kind of looks at you, Raphael.
Hello, name's Ori. I'm a traveling trader of sorts. Are you the same, might I assume?
My name is Haps. I'm here as a merchant as well. Oleg can contest to that, can't you, Oleg? And you see Oleg just, yeah. It's at that point, because Rabbit is out in the open, that a couple of them see from their line of point, they just see crouching at the top platform a Kitsune ranger with a bow, and immediately one of them, this one right here, goes, "What the fuck?" and yells out to the other guy, "Haps, there's something going on here!"
I give a whistle, hoping that will get Golf and Amiri's attention.
My foundry is fucking up at the moment.
I was hoping they wouldn't spot Rabbit quite so quickly, but...
He's out in the open! He can hide somewhere!
What was Rabin in his kitsune form? I thought.
I thought he was going to be...
I changed shape into a human form.
Okay.
But a human crouching on a thing out in the that is a little suspicious, and I'm gonna say they're gonna play off of that. They're gonna see that, and they are going to immediately. And noticing that, you see this man right here, Haps, goes, "You son of a bitch!" and quickly in his belt grabs a alchemist flask and just throws it over his shoulder that lands on this building and immediately hits it, explodes, catching the entire corner of the building on fire. And then we're going to go into combat.
I think that is no merchant, judging from his behavior. Oh god.
A Grove would react to the whistle of Orifia. Don't know if you want to do this in encounter. During the encounter.
Where can I add them in for? One second, I got something weird going on.
Yeah, Paul, could you throw Lorast token next to Gilly if you could, please?
Sorry, do what?
Lorast.
Lorast, I can do that.
Yeah, next to Gilly, please.
That's very important.
Oh,
I don't even know where my wolf is.
Yeah, where's the wolf at? Sorry.
Where's the wolf? Yeah, that's a question.
I guess maybe in the barn.
Yeah, it's probably hiding there with someone.
Just waiting to be let out. Like going like this on the ground.
He wants to go for a walkie.
Oh, he's well trained.
My foundry has frozen as well now that I look at it.
There we go. All right. Apparently this thing is being goofy on my side.
I think it's a connection issue because I also have like it's frozen.
I had to reload too, and now it should be. Yes, it's fixed.
It's the reload.
I thought it was only my internet just being dumb.
Okay, I'll try to reload.
Hmm?
There we go. All right.
Hitting F5 did the trick for me. Because of reloading, I wasn't able to see which one was the leader.
It's the guy that's right here.
It's the
Okay.
guy whose token is wielding a bow.
Yeah. And while you get everything reloaded again, I'll show you what this guy looks like. Once you're back inside Foundry. That guy looks like
I am good to go.
this
Need a
dude
second.
right here. And you saw that one of the horsemen called, or one of the people called him Haps.
Yep.
All right. So Haps, he
He
throws
did
Alchemist
actually.
Vial.
He throws it.
Yep. All right. In this case, for initiative, all of you can use either perception or stealth, or you feel you can use those as well as diplomacy if you want to,
Not deception.
or deception.
Paul, could you roll initiative for me? Is that... Do we be able, because it's still loading?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
You got it.
So how does it work? Do I click roll initiative and then can I select deception?
No. So select it first. So how you select it is on your character sheet. Go to the left-hand side
Yep.
where you have initiative. Change it to one of the values you want to use, and then in the combat tracker, go ahead and click on roll initiative.
Okay. That's cool. Okay.
All right, and then they're gonna roll. All right, now I'm gonna assume Gilly, weapons out. Groff, your weapon's out. Robert, your weapon is probably out as well because you're hiding. Refuel, probably not.
Nope.
They do not have weapons
No
out, so they need
weapons.
to pull the weapons as well.
No weapons on hand for me either.
Okay.
I am selling this.
All right, so we will go into. One second. I forgot to do one thing.
Well, I had the intention of selling it.
Well, I tried to give you the clue that Rabbit's out in the damn open.
Still, I think they're in here, so we got what we wanted. Hopefully.
All right, we'll go into now. Beginning of combat, and you'll see that little unhighlighted circle next to you, Groff, means you're next in the action. So Haps now goes, Oleg, you son of a bitch! Can't believe you fucking did this! And he pulls out a composite short bow. They had, and he goes and immediately gets it slung up and launches an arrow as a second action immediately into who's right next to him. The one that is going to be potentially the target, which is what in the world? I just moved my screen. Screen, stop moving. Okay, he's going to launch an arrow right into Arifiel because he suspects that something is going on. So pulls back, launches the arrow, comes in right into you, Arifiel, for a total of 2 damage. And then he is going to join his comrades by interjecting himself onto the table, back over there. As this is going on, I still need to play around how I'm going to do the companions in the fight, so I'm going to write this in this case right here. This is meant for 4 of you, not 7 of you. So Amiri, Lindsay, and Jatho are going to be doing their own things narratively around the battle.
Okay.
Groff.
I just realized that we put the unarmored person in front of all of this.
Groff, you got that giant door in front of you. In action, the throat closed.
That's what he'll do.
All right.
Close the door. I hope without hitting the horse.
The horse will get out of the way.
Okay.
The horse will get
No,
spooked.
so no,
The horse
no
goes
animal,
backwards.
No, we need
animal
the
cruelty. And after that, he's gonna hold on to his great axe and sudden charge to this guy over here.
All right, fantastic. You watch as Groff grabs that great axe and goes charging towards that guy. Move yourself, Groff. Oh, nice. That was cool.
Oh,
That was cool.
That is cool. Holy crap. Okay.
And then strike.
And that will hit. Great Axe going to an overhand swing and is going to smack that guy for 10 damage and just drop him to the ground. Dead. Groff, one
That's
more
the
action.
first one, Amiri.
Or was that 2 for the sudden charge? Nope.
Yes, it's ending my turn, right? 1 action for the door, 2 actions
Yeah, okay.
for some charge.
Gotcha. All right, Rifiel is on you. You watch as Groff ran next to you and just demolished that first guy. Rabbit, you're on deck.
All right, that's enough out of you. And I'm going to.
That will hit.
Vines spring up from the table that he's chosen to stand on and curl around his feet.
He has chosen to stand there, and he will stay there, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
He will not be able to move for, what is this, 1 round?
1 round.
All right. Gotcha. One more action there, Rifiel. As you watch
Yep,
as Root start to grab him from the table itself.
Okay, and for my remaining action, I am going to interpose myself between Oleg and these 2 buggers.
Gotcha.
And that will be my turn. Rabbit, you're up.
Gil, you're on deck.
To command my wolf, command an animal, I have to use that action, right?
Yes. And you gave it 2 actions.
I don't have that action though. I
Well, just tell me.
noticed.
I mean, if I'll put it on your script sheet, but are you commanding an animal?
Yeah.
All right. Where do you want your buddy to be? Here, it's on your character sheet now.
All right. I'm basically just towards here, I guess. He's in.
Yeah, you'll get there.
That's 1 action, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's 1 more action left.
Let me see what his actions are.
You have a support action, which I believe is knock prone, or what's with support benefit?
I'm using the support benefit of it.
Makes it slower. You can't move as fast.
Yeah. On this guy at least. And after that, since I have 2 actions left, I'm going to use Hunt Prey on him.
All right,
And then attack him with my longbow.
go for it. That is almost a crit, but the wolf will start grabbing the guy to keep him from moving. As he is, what the hell? And he's trying to kick back at the horse, or at the wolf, and is going to take a bit of damage. Yeah, he'll go down dead.
A bit.
A bit of damage. Alright, Reb, I believe that's all your actions, which means it goes to
Yep.
Gilly.
Gilly wants
You just
to...
hear bodies dropping outside.
Yeah.
I think we overestimated these guys.
These well-laid plans are too much for them.
Like, I already said there's
Don't
force I can't see
kill
force showing up, so I'm like, that's what you got.
Don't
Alright.
kill them all. Gilly wants to go here, so that would be like Oh, that's 30 feet of movement. She does not have 30 feet, so she could stride twice. Or, yeah, I think Gilly is going to stride twice to get to this point. Just go on the bench and start attacking the leader. Basically, there's not many people left, but still, he wants to get there. Is that all right? Like in the sense of she gets out of there and tries to go over there.
Yeah.
Okay. And she will. Oh, I have to. She will attack the leader guy, perhaps non-lethally, so with a -2.
Go for it. Go for it, Gilly.
So -2. And make a public roll. Add it. All right.
Well, that'll be a hit. Use a bit of the flat of the longsword to do not so lethal damage, which will do a bit of 11 to him. He is not going to like that.
And Gilly is going to throw insults his way. Idiot! You stupid fire-throwing idiot. She's not very creative.
It's alright. You're good at smacking people. Alright, Gilly, that's your last action?
Yep.
Alright. So, this guy right here, seeing you attacking his buddy, he's going to, in action, pull out his dagger and go to fight you, Gilly. And he is going to... Let's see... He's going to move in behind... Actually, the horse is in the way, so can't really do that. He's going to stay right there. He is going to... First action, pull out the dagger. Second action, he is going to try and throw you off the table.
Trip me.
Yep. And will succeed. So grabs you and throws you off of the table onto the ground. And the last action is going to go ahead and jam his dagger into you.
1 second before that.
Yeah.
Can I use my halfling luck? Oh no, I have to fail a skill check or saving throw, so probably not.
Yep. In this case, won't work. All right, it comes in. This will be at a -2 since that is a attack. So dagger coming into you, Gilly, and that is going to hit. All right.
I'm built for taking damage. Come on.
4 damage, Gilly.
Let's take it.
Top of the round for Haps. He is stuck there because of the entangling thing, I believe, or just slow down. What's
I
that?
think he has a.
He would be stuck if it was a critical.
Okay, so he can't move.
So I assume he just slowed down.
He's just slow. So he's going to jump back 15 feet, being a little bit slow. And is going to... Well, it goes on the ground behind the desk, so I'm going to say he can't see Gilly at the moment. He's going to continue launching arrows at Rifiel.
Okay.
All right. Rifiel, let's see. So as he gets an arrow knocked, he is going to... He's going to focus target on you, Rifiel. And second action, or third action, he's going to fire that bow at you. Let's see if this will be able to do something. All right. So it's going to be
Hits.
his attack as well as a D8.
Yep.
So take 6, including 12 damage, please. Just hit that twice.
Ooh.
And that sends you immediately into the dirt, Rifiel.
Yep.
Right, your initiative moves to 20 before him. All right, he is done. Gruff, you watch as Urfio just takes an arrow to the gut.
Ooh.
Oops, sorry.
You're unconscious,
Oh, your
Urfio.
vision when you're out.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's Grove's turn, right?
Yeah, it's on you.
So Grove watches Orifio get knocked out, and he started to get flashbacks of his past and sees his friends getting slaughtered. Taps into this fury and screams, "Stop hurting my companions!" and goes into a rage.
Does the barbarian thing.
And then the next barbarian thing, sudden charge.
Speaking of barbarians, quick question. I would assume that Amiri would have closed the other door as well.
Oh yeah. It's closed.
Okay, it's a little bit odd. Okay, what are you doing? Get in front of him. Get
There
in
you go.
front of him. Yeah, thank you. And then he's smacks him with his axe
Go for it.
and misses. Too bad.
Yep.
Yes, rage is on. Okay. Yeah, that would be the turn.
Right. We now go to Rabbit. It's on you.
Since you don't want to kill that guy, how were non-lethal rolls working again?
I think with a -2.
Can you non-lethal an arrow from a bow?
Just like in a deadly part of the
Go
body.
for the leg. You have to -2 though.
Yeah, kneecap.
Go for the dick.
No, that's
That'd be considered lethal
That's
for some
cruel.
people.
Ah,
But you considered lethal to their bloodline.
That's true. It's lethal to his
Yeah,
children.
Dynasty. Yeah. It's called Kingmaker. You won't be making any kings,
No,
buddy.
he won't.
as my first action, I'm going to use Command Animal again.
Okay.
For the wolf to basically just run up to this guy and then attack him.
All right, go for it.
Just a question: would Gilly flank if she's prone? I'm not quite sure on the rules.
I'm gonna say no to that one.
Okay.
Wait, since Gilly is standing.
I'll write that down. I need to look it up. I'm not sure.
She's not standing. That's the thing.
Ah, okay.
She crunched down on the bench.
That's a hit.
That's it. This is non-lethal.
No, this is just lethal because, well, it's just a normal bandit, it's not the leader.
Gotcha. All right. Well, your puppy is biting the hell out of this guy. Jumps up, grabs the guy's arms. Oh! He's just swinging the wolf around now.
And for my last two actions, I am going to use Hunt Prey on this guy. And then shoot an arrow non-lethally.
All right.
Modifier circumstance, non-lethal.
I'm gonna say, would that be blocking line of sight? Nah, good.
-2, right?
You're going technically through. If you move over a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna call it cover. -2.
So yeah, for the non-lethal it's -2 and the cover is -2.
Yeah, so -4.
Yikes.
Yikes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that building provides cover. Yeah, fortunately, it hits the
And
ground
I'm
right next to him. All right, Gilly, it's on you. You see
First
Riffle
off-
on the ground, the dog or the wolf just biting the hell out of the guy next to you.
Gilly would probably want to go to the bandit leader, but she knows that we are basically guests at Oleg's house, and just I don't want to see him. Gilly doesn't want to see him like cut down, and is also concerned about Orifio. So she'll stand up, get that prone away with one action.
Yep.
And after that, again, non-lethally attack, but now this time the badly injured bandit.
Gotcha. Do your worst.
Yes, I will try. Lethal, -2. And I will probably, if I don't hit, I want to hero point this.
Go for it. That looks like it's a hit.
It's a hit. And now the non-lethal damage.
Yeah. He is unconscious.
Alright. And with my last action, I will... 1 second, I will try to run over there, but I can't run through them, so I am... Oh, I'm still... Thank you. Damn it. I will run over there with an athletic rush, so I have the movement speed to get there and flank
Gotcha.
the bandit leader.
Alright.
Cast this one, put this on, and I'll just be standing there looking pretty. And menacingly, and also say to him, give yourself up. You're surrounded and your companions are either dead or knocked down. Yeah, that's my turn, thank you.
Alright, Gilly. He's unconscious. Refuel. Give me a death saving throw, please. D10.
All right. Is there a button on the character sheet, or do I just roll a d10?
I'm not sure it's on a character sheet.
There is.
Oh yeah, you're dying 1. Alright, there you go. Go ahead and click on the little D20 symbol next to your dying 1 at the top left of your character sheet.
So the recovery check.
Yes.
Rolling.
Okay. You're actually just stable.
Okay.
That's all you can do. He goes, never. I'll get far worse if I gave up. And he is also going to get back. And is going to, at this point, target you, Gilly. With his abilities. Let's see, do I need to redo this? I think I probably do. Okay, yeah, so you're now the target, and when action against you, Gilly, he's going to launch an arrow at you. Is going to hit for that plus... Well, that was horrible. That was horrible. Take your 3 damage.
He has no resolve.
Your 3 damage.
He knows he's surrounded.
You watch as Jathal and Emiri are calming down the horses that are panicking. Lindsay is trying to put out the fire. Svetlana is that one to run across the field of battle right now, so she's still there. Oleg is kind of just... He's not a fighter at all. And you see that he is in a bit of shock, and he's actually trying to attend to you, Raphael, to have you a bit of recover. That's how they're occupied, and it now goes to Groff. It's on you.
First, question to the group as a player. I don't think that Grove would try to knock the leader unconscious in his rage. And yeah, I don't want to play against the group, but just wanted to ask if everyone's cool with it if I role play him like this.
We've got one of them.
It's roleplay.
Yeah, go for it.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
This makes sense for you to kill this guy because you're
Do
raging.
it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay.
Be a barbarian.
Conscious.
Barbarian with a rubber hammer just knocking someone
Just
unconscious.
picture a big rubber hammer smashing people over the head with it.
Like a double axe, but like the flat side. Bonk.
Yes, X. It is.
Ooh.
I was really hoping for you to not roll well. I'm sorry.
But there is still
And I'm
another.
still
He
hoping.
has more attack.
Yes.
Can it
Second
be-
attack.
Minus, right?
-5,
As
yeah.
Grove tries to get his axe out of the table. Stop moving!
Pulls it out. Alright, Grok, give me a second attack.
Nope.
Alright, Gilly, you're lucky.
He literally pulls it out of the table only to smash it into the wall and get it stuck there.
You get ducked behind the blade.
Just
Get-
destroying the house, the furniture.
Barbarian's raging too hard, guys.
Yeah.
Getting him even more furious.
Yeah.
Rabbit, it's on you. Gilly, you're on deck.
Self-perpetuating cycle. When will this fire?
Here's a lumberjack! You just burned down, destroying houses.
He is not in cover now, right? I believe so.
Nope. The horse is blocking your view.
Yeah, goddamn horse.
It's a 15-foot horse. Now you're good. No cover. It's a giant
Giraffe.
horse.
Oh no.
Not the giraffes.
So I have to roll with the -2 for cover again.
No, there's no cover this time.
Ah,
Yeah, it's clear of all cover.
but you said it was a 15 feet horse.
I was joking! It's not a giant, it's a Olifant horse, an Oleg horse.
Dire horse.
Dire horse.
So I'm gonna attack again and try to hit him non-lethal.
Yeah. There's a running joke in my home game, they're all dire dwarves. We're just playing humans.
You're just a dire dwarf that has memory loss and thinks he's human.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, Rabbit, do your attack roll. -2. That will hit.
And damage.
Ow. Ow. That hurts.
Still standing. Wow.
Seriously?
And since that was my first action, or well, yeah, my first action, I'm just gonna try or attack again non-lethally.
Go for it. Not that time.
Yeah, damn it.
Third action, what do you got?
Command animal for my wolf. I think he can reach there, or can't he?
Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. How much moves does the wolf have?
I believe 30.
It's 40.
40. Oh.
Yeah, it can get
No,
up
he
to the
could-
guy.
So he could probably get over here, right?
I'd say so. See, he's right here, so if he does... Ooh, no. Well, I guess if he goes to the square. Actually, no. To get there, it will be 2 actions. You have to get here for 1 action.
Okay. Can my wolf attack non-lethally as well, or not?
So I was gonna say no, but I thought about German Shepherd police dogs that don't do it non-lethal, so I'll say yeah.
In that case, he's going to attack non-lethally as well.
Yeah. You give the command to not kill the guy. Go for the leg, not the throat.
His third leg?
Gonna kill the children, go for it.
No.
No.
And misses.
Alright, let's go beyond to Gilly to do this.
Let's
Or Gilly
see.
can miss every attack.
Oh god, don't jinx it. I have hero points, so kind of have 3 attacks. So first attack on him.
He's
Again,
flanked.
non-lethally because Gilly is such
I think it's going to be over.
probably.
Just imagine just Gilly missing all attacks just so Grolf can kill him.
Yeah.
Hey, I've seen all ones in a row.
At some point, the god just wanted.
Well, he
I
get
mean-
one more round. We get one more round to do stuff.
With flanking?
Well, damn.
It's a hit. Let's see if
Tony bother. He has 1 HP. Tony bother. He
Hey, God check.
goes down.
like it should be Gilly's height to, end his dynasty.
What? Actually, if you play it correctly, he's dead because Gilly rolled for lethal.
No.
Lethal minus
oh
2.
no! Lethal minus 2.
All right, but he does. What's green for? That's weird. He does go down, knocked unconscious by Gilly, and only 4 here. You have stopped. You have 2 surviving, the partial leader of this group, and that is a victory.
Let's patch or refill up.
All right.
All human, right?
Refuel, you are unconscious. So I'm gonna go patch up a refuel. And movement is that open.
I'm moving up to Orifil and use one of my lesser potions to heal him.
Put the horse in the stable.
There are horses now.
Like, do
Hold
we
it.
need a potion to go over me?
Let me check him. And Grove gets out a little pouch with medicine and bandages and tries to see how he can tend to Orifil's wounds. When I can find a skill check, I guess it's medicine, right?
So are you using treat wounds?
Yeah.
Alright, so Dennis, do me a favor. You see do you know the macro folder? Go in there. And grab the macro for treat wounds and battle medicine.
Macro folder, okay.
Yeah, you should see
There's
the
this.
treat wounds.
Action macros, and there is treat wounds.
There's this like folder
Treat,
type
treat poison, treat disease.
in the at the bottom of Foundry. There's like this action bar, and
Yes,
to the left
right.
of it,
Huh?
there's
There's a little
Where's
photo
macro?
icon to the left of the action bar. For the macros
Ah,
directory.
treat wounds and battle medicine. Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Drag that to your hotbar and then click on that. You might need to
Uh-huh.
target refuel first though.
Okay, double right click target. You need to select exactly 1 token as a healer. No? Ah, no, it does it.
Do
Okay.
you have healer's tools equipped or not?
I do have healer tools, yes.
If not, we do have.
I guess
healers,
there's
so
no
we
DC modifier, or is there?
No. You can go to like DC 20 if you're expert in medicine.
No,
If not, yeah,
not-
just click
no,
roll
no.
or okay or whatever it's whatever it is, button to continue.
It's a DC 15, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, a failure. Do you want to hero point that if you have one?
I do.
All right. So right click. Yep, you got it. And well, fortunately, it's still gonna be a fail.
Whew, not a critical failure. Ah, he's fine.
But also means he's immune for 1 hour.
Just give him some time. He sleeps enough.
In that case, do you use a potion or not?
He's unconscious. You can't ask him.
True. I have to target him and then use healing potion, right?
I'll say we are at the end of combat. I'll say he'll naturally wake up within a couple of moments. So we're going to give you 1 HP there, Raphael.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I'm going to listen to the barbarian. If he says he just needs to sleep it off, then it's fine.
All right. And I think this will probably be a good spot to call today's game.
Sadly.
I
All right.
really enjoyed that ambush. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.